accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on Thursday, February 13th, 2025. Off tomorrow and Monday because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Send me lots of money right now in the tip jar. Let's go.
Yeah, tip it up.
I got hoes to pay for in the club. No, I'm kidding. Golf balls to pay for in the club. The Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business, The Advocates, because we have been having an argument all morning. You guys might find this interesting and you might not. You probably won't. This show is boring as hell, and you know that.
Right.
We've been having an argument this morning about who's at fault in a particular situation that happened, and this should not surprise anybody, that in the great state of Utah, something like this happened. Hey, a train going down the track. That's not all together. Nothing to see here. Oh my. That's not good.
Well, Morty, the car must have been broken down, right? I mean,
right?
That's
she had no other alternative. Female driver. Well, the other perspective on this is probably going to change your mind. Okay, here we have a rear end collision.
Okay.
So the Jeep gets pushed onto the tracks by a working truck. Oh, there's a bar down. Okay, I can't back up anymore. Let me pull a little further forward after I've been rear-ended. And I'm going to get out of the car. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. She got out of that car to go bitch at the guy in the truck, in my opinion. Hey, lady, that's a train coming at you.
Look at the damage it does to the
post, the car. Now, I'm going to play this video again. And I just want you to look across the tracks, the other side of the tracks from her. She just got rear-ended, and she attempts to back up. But look, there's no barrier. She could have driven straight across the tracks and pulled over.
Yeah.
She chose not to do that. Tell me that she doesn't get out of this car and is trying to get after the guy behind her. Look at this. She's out. Look at the forcefulness of her walk. She's going after the guy in the pickup truck. Does she see that train coming her way? I don't believe she does. I don't think she knew that train was there. I don't know what she was thinking and why she didn't drive straight off. Jake says she's the victim in this case. I say that she's at fault for this accident. She should have to compensate the railroad company.
She's not at fault for the rear end portion, but I think the train portion she's at fault for. There's no reason. So the two questions I have are firstly what you brought up. Why did you not just pull forward?
Just drive off the tracks.
Literally just drive forward 20 feet, and we don't have to talk about you being on the news yesterday, right? Like, you could have literally just driven forward, and you would have been fine. Now, here's the other thing. When you hit the swing arm on the train, protection system, the arm there, when you backed up into that thing, you would have felt that resistance.
I would think
you would have felt that for sure. That's not some just small little, thing that you could just back up.
But she's clearly not running for her life. They tried to spin it online that this lady was running for her life. Like getting out of the car because it was going to get hit. I am telling you, she was getting out of that car to whoop some ass.
Yeah, dude.
She wanted to go back there and woman-splain what an a-hole the driver of that. She chose violence, and the train said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
Right? Like I blame the driver.
She got out of the car, in my opinion, looking to take advantage of a situation. Because here's the deal. Being on the train tracks, that's not a very common situation
And
as
listen,
a driver.
when Jay Chapman is speaking truth to female power, you know you're in the wrong spot.
That's what I'm saying.
You know.
Just go forward.
Why didn't you drive off the track, lady?
Janus.
Okay. The mixer's upset too.
Even the sound mixer is upset with you, ma'am. Like, this is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. And in my opinion, she should have to pay to fix the train. She should have to pay to fix the light post and guardrail thing. Yeah. She should have to pay for it all, because if you look at the damage that was done,
now she makes a choice too. I want to point this out. So you notice, okay, she gets rear-ended by the truck on the right. Watch the right side of the screen. Start over. Watch the right side of the screen. Watch her get rear-ended here. She gets pushed onto the tracks by that truck. And in the video, you'll notice the back of her car is damaged.
We needed it to get an advocate on today to ask him about this.
So then you, right there, when you push the arm back, you cannot tell me you didn't make a choice and said, hey, you know what? Like, I just got rear-ended. I'm just going to park this thing right here, because the other thing you're not getting away from is on the other side of the road, you can see all the cars stopped for the train.
But she's just gotten rear-ended by a pickup truck, right?
Dude, I'm just telling you right now, if I just got rear-ended and train tracks are involved, my first question is not the pickup truck. My first question is the train tracks and getting to safety.
I'm curious. Maybe and there are some other scenarios. Maybe she hit her head. Maybe she was dazed and confused.
Uh-huh.
That could be.
Uh-huh. Wasn't dazed and confused enough to not go, strut herself back to that pickup truck.
Did not stagger, and by the way, anybody that drives a Jeep Patriot, you deserve to get your car smashed by a train, just so we know.
Was it the buttons that you struggled with here to change gears? Because, in Jeeps now, you don't have the shifter that you normally would. They've changed it just the buttons.
There's no excuse for her to sit here. Anyway, so we've been going back and forth all morning long, and just look at, she's walking in a straight line. She doesn't appear to stagger. No, not at all.
And this is not a high-speed accident. So I'm not I'm not giving her the benefit of the doubt that she hit her head. This is not I've been rear-ended once in my life, very similar to this. And there's it startles you, but there's almost no injuries that you would have suffered there.
Yeah, atomic skull. She should call the advocates.
She should.
And I'm being serious. When you get rear-ended like that, call the advocates. You have got to get somebody that'll fight for you, because what does she say to her insurance company? Because I'm telling you now,
well, Bob,
the train.
Listen, I got rear-ended, and I could have pulled forward, but that went against my personal values, such as as a U.S. American, I had to back up and go and tell that guy how it was.
She should be responsible for the train, all of the damage associated with the train. There's damage to the wheels on the front of the train. There is certainly damage, obviously, to the light and the post. She's probably looking at tens of thousands of dollars here. And I think it is.
You could have just driven forward.
It could have, but that's my point. It could have totally been avoided. And now if you're the guy in the pickup truck that rear-ended her, she is going to try and put him on in the jackpot for all this.
Yeah. Well, the problem for her is it's all on video.
Yeah, exactly. That's on her personal responsibility. Yes, it is. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. I mean, clearly,
Man,
Xavier.
We're just,
Xavier, who says college football sucks and yet is here every day. And Donuts, she was going Karen ballistic. This doesn't need to be female drivers are terrible.
Yeah, that's not the point. I mean, if this was a dude, I'd be saying the same thing.
You really think the insurance companies will pay 50-50? I would have just driven off the track, I would think. Knox too tall. says feels like an ad read for some law firm.
Well,
Dude, is that not exactly what this is?
Yeah, like I saw it and I was like, bro, like, why didn't you drive forward? And good luck getting your insurance company to cover this. Like the rear ending, they'll cover. But now,
I'm going to say the tailgate's not going to be the biggest problem for this car.
Like, did she not
just drive forward?
Tell me
the gate is narrow. Just back up.
Right? Like, dude, did she not make a conscious? Anybody in their right mind would never leave their car on a train track. That's just.
Do you think she thought she was off the train track? Because that would be my defense here. If I'm watching this video, I'm like, well, damn, I thought I was off the train track, man.
Yeah, well, your car didn't.
And you know what's going to happen. Well, if there had been more distance between the guardrail and the train track, it's not my fault. Like, she will come up with something.
She'll wiggle her way out of it.
It's not the train's fault,
bro.
It's not the train's fault. Wasikowski, women must be colorblind. It's a woman's fault.
Right.
Stop.
Right.
Dana Marie, I've been rear-ended many times. No complaints here. Hey-o!
Oh!
Stay hard. Dana. Bailey Dietrich, boom. Get out the way.
Yeah.
Get out the way. Exactly right. Welcome to the nightmare. She could have easily drove up. The truck was at fault for hitting her, though, and she was at fault for all the train damage. Exactly right. It's all the truck's fault. Never would have happened if he was not a reckless driver. Right, and I agree to a certain extent.
It's not the truck's fault that she decided to murk her own car, dude.
It's not the truck's fault that she got out of that car and marched back instead of paying attention to the locomotive, and that is a passenger train.
Play the other video we have. This dude is on his
Listen to the driver right here. Dude, you're not stopping a train.
No.
You're not stopping a train, and you hear him on his horn, and you hear him, oh, come on. What is he supposed to do?
Nothing.
There's nothing to do. I think this is the lady's fault 100%. I don't know, Jay. How did she not see the train? Because, again, I think she was so concerned about, look at the way she marches out of her car. Look at the way she gets out of the driver's side door here in a moment. Right? Okay, and again, notice there's no guardrail blocking the other side. Watch how she gets out of this car here. Look at her go under the guardrail, by the way. Okay, we're going to put the car in park. We're going to get out under the guardrail, and now we're going back, and we're going to get our pound of flesh.
We're going to stand on business.
We're going to stand on business.
Yeah.
How dare you rear-end the law?
Never mind that train just plowing your car, dude.
Dude.
I'm telling you, she made a choice here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think it's 100% her fault. She got rear-ended. That's the truck's fault. Everything else after that, that's her fault. That is her fault. No doubt about it.
Okay, we need to talk about this. All these people in our comment section saying, get to sports. Like, what?
Mike, time to talk sports. Knox to talk. Can we please get to the sports? You got
my God, can you guys not have 5 minutes? It's not even, what time is it? Like, it's not even like, come on.
Just relax.
Just chill, dude.
It's fine. San Diego State, Glenn, before we get to the sports,
get to the sports and don't talk about anything else.
We don't have fun in this world, Morty.
Everything sucks and it's terrible.
Monty with an E. R. Kelly saw the video and says, I don't see nothing wrong with the little bump and grind. Okay. The Monty Show presented by the Mountain West Conference. D-Rock, this is sports smash-up derby. It totally is.
This is a sport, dude. Getting plowed by a train? Come on.
Yeah. I it'll just be interesting to see what happens with her. But again...
Sorry, I just thought you guys would have enjoyed a little entertainment this morning.
A little lighthearted. Nobody died. Who doesn't like car on train action?
Dude. Come on, dude.
When nobody dies.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, let's get to all the serious stuff and all the rain cloud
listen,
material.
this is a serious sports talk
Here,
program.
hang on.
Real quick.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay.
Speaking of tears, did you see the storm that's hammering California right now?
It's an atmospheric river.
Bro.
It really
and
is,
of course, I have to fly tomorrow. So,
Well, go ahead and strap in. We may experience some unexpected rough air on this trip.
I should not be going on this trip. But then again, my wife would be flying home. If we weren't going to Seattle, she'd be flying home Friday. So either way, it's fine. It's fine. All right, let's get into it. Here on the Monty Show, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com, where you never pay out of pocket for the best legal advice. You get clear, risk-free advice in the worst moments of your life. Tell me if your car gets wrecked by a train, that's not one of the worst moments of your life. Because I'm going to say she didn't leave it there on purpose. She has to feel not so great this morning. Get to the Advocates. They'll give you clear, risk-free advice. And the best part is you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. A lot of talk about the Pac-12 being on the verge of winning their poaching lawsuit against the Mountain West. Now, let's be very clear. We are not reporting that. And the Jackwagon's reporting that. I have not been able to find a single source who says we're close to a resolution on the poaching lawsuit with the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. And I want to get that out of the way very clearly. We have spoken to a number of attorneys who specialize in this area who have all told us the precedent is on the side of the Mountain West, in that there is no precedent that says when you sign a contract that you can just not abide by the terms of the contract and then sue to get out of those terms. And, it's interesting. A lot of Pac-12 supporters have said, well, hey, the Pac-12 knew that this poaching clause was in there. The Pac-12 knew that it was unenforceable, and that's why they signed the contract. The problem with that is the law is not on your side in that case. You signed that contract. You certainly can go to court and you can argue that it's unenforceable, but you're going to have some pretty clear evidence that it's unenforceable in some way, shape, or form, and that you did not know that clause was in that contract. When you sign a contract, and I think this is a part that people often forget, when you sign a contract, you are saying, essentially, I am going to do everything I can do to abide by the terms of this contract. It is called a good faith basis. You're signing that contract with a good faith of getting into an agreement that you have every intention of honoring. If you sign a contract knowing that there's a clause in there you believe to be illegal, you are not entering into that agreement in good faith. There is no precedent that says a judge is going to overturn that. And again, from sources I have spoken to close to that situation, not one person believes that this will end up in a courtroom with a judge making a ruling as to unenforceable or enforceable. Most people believe that these lawsuits are simply a lever that the Pac-12 and the exiting members of the Mountain West are pulling to renegotiate the terms of those contracts and lessen their financial exposure. And in this case, pay less exit fees, pay less poaching fees. Because I go back to the time that this contract was signed, and it is a scheduling agreement. And I want to make sure people understand this, because there is a bunch of misinformation, whether it's the radio wizard in the Northwest or whoever, putting out significant misinformation about where this poaching agreement comes in. The poaching agreement has nothing to do with either the terms and conditions, the member agreement, the grant of rights. It is all separate of that. Those are all separate agreements. This poaching agreement is part of a scheduling agreement between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, where the Mountain West agreed to schedule with the Pac-2, Oregon State and Washington State, because Oregon State and Washington State did not have a pot to piss in at that point. They had nowhere to go. They knew that they had athletes who needed games. They had clubs and teams and financial responsibilities and obligations to their partners. So they went to the Mountain West, who had extended an olive branch, who would have, and I remind you this, would have merged with the Pac-12. The Pac-12 said no. The Mountain West extended an olive branch in the form of a scheduling agreement. In that scheduling agreement, there is a clause that essentially says, hey, if you take our membership, you're going to pay a price, a poaching fee, for every one of those members who leaves our conference to join the Pac-12. The Pac-12 signed it, knowingly signed it by some reports. And again, I think it is not clear what the Pac-12 knew or thought of this clause. Because again, I would remind you, one of the tenets of contract law is entering into a contract on a good faith basis. None of this adds up, in my opinion, Jake, to the Pac-12 being close now or in the future to, quote unquote, winning the lawsuit with the poaching fees.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's rich to be seeing reporting and people putting out into the world that the Pac-12 is, quote unquote, close to winning this lawsuit. The first thing that really stands out to me is there is no strong precedent that's in the Pac-12's favor, right? So like there's not a case where you can go and say, hey, these guys 7 years ago were in the same spot and the side that's, on the Pac-12 side here won that case. You don't have something to go and lean on. And the part that bothers me about this is we're just simply seeing folks who have made a living on the Pac-12 for their entire career putting out things that are just simply, not factual. There's nobody looking at this situation can factually say that the Pac-12 has a strong case to go out and win this lawsuit. What you can factually say, again, no opinions, no bias, no conjecture. You can factually say, hey, there is plenty of precedent. There is plenty of case law that says both from just a simple contract law standpoint, but then also a collegiate athletic standpoint that says, hey, you two signed into an agreement. Here were the terms of that agreement that you two agreed to, and that's what it is. Like there's multiple situations that you could lean on to defend your position here if you're the Mountain West. And that's the part where when I look at this, then I say, okay, well, with that being the facts of the case, what would be my opinion on what's going to happen here? Okay, well, my opinion has been and still is that the Mountain West has a pile of precedent to stand on here. They have a lot of ways that they can go about defending their position, and ultimately that's what's going to make it tough for the Pac-12 to win the lawsuit in court, which is why if you're the Pac-12, you've been trying to settle for weeks and months in all this time, but you haven't been able to, because I think Gloria Navarez and the Mountain West are going to hold your feet to the fire. The defense of it, and this is the one I found most rich this morning when we were looking at this, the people are saying that the Pac-12's defense should be that the clause in the contract, they told the Mountain West that it's unenforceable, and then that therefore makes it unenforceable. That is one of the silliest things I've ever heard. Just because you think something is unenforceable does not mean that when you sign the contract, now it's unenforceable, dude. You signed a deal.
And again, I want you to understand, we don't talk about stuff we don't understand. We have done a lot of work on this, and I was pointed to a specific piece of literature from Harvard Law, which is the legal definition of good faith and contract doctrine. And if you read this, the line that matters to you most is middle of the line, line 3. Every contract imposes upon each party a duty of good faith and fair dealing in its performance and its enforcement. Moreover, the two authorities elaborate good faith in similar terms. The Uniform Commercial Code, which the Pac-12 says the Mountain West violated, adds that good faith means honesty in fact and the observance of reasonable commercial standards of fair dealing. So if you're applying this and you are saying that the Mountain West essentially infringes upon your ability to conduct business and violated the Uniform Commercial Code. Did you enter into that contract in good faith? Did you enter into that agreement with the belief system? Because the other part is the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing is a legal principle that requires the parties to a contract to act in good faith and fulfill their obligations. So I'm asking you again, if you're a supporter of the Pac-12, because that's the side this is coming from. Do you honestly think that you have fulfilled your end of the good faith covenant in contract law? Because that's what, every time I talk to somebody of legal knowledge about this situation, every time I talk to I talked to an athletic director in the Mountain West the other day, who said to me, this is basic contract law. We feel like we're going to win and we're in a position to prevail in the poaching lawsuits,
right.
The poaching fee lawsuit. So if you are the Pac-12, and let's say what you pointed out, you sign this contract with the Mountain West with the belief, because I think it was Cofield and Company in Las Vegas. We were watching their show the other day and they had a legal analyst on. And this might have been like a week or so ago. I don't remember what day it was. Who said, well, they told the Mountain West that this clause was unenforceable. Then why did you sign it?
Yeah. So your argument is, and this is what's going to be difficult for the Pac-12 to get around. So your argument is, hey, we allegedly told the Mountain West that this poaching clause is unenforceable, yet you still signed it, which means that obviously you did not sign this agreement in good faith. You
Correct.
signed this agreement, and this is the spin cycle that's happening with the Pac-12. So a Pac-12 guy wants to tell you is, hey, we told the Mountain West that this wasn't enforceable, and we were held over a barrel because we were looking out for the good of our student athletes, right? We had student athletes that were not going to have a schedule to play, that they were just going to burn a year of eligibility or whatever, because we couldn't get into a scheduling agreement with you guys. So you essentially had us over a barrel here, and we didn't have a choice. But that's not true, is it?
Yeah.
That is not true. That is absolutely not true. And here's why it's not true. You can't say that you were held over a barrel when you are the same people that put yourself in that position. If you're going to go into a courtroom and you're going to say that you were held over a barrel and you were in a really tough spot and, the Mountain West just had all this leverage over you, number one, it's not illegal to have leverage over someone when you enter into an agreement, right? We all understand that. We see that all the time. We see that in professional sports all the time. Hey, I've got a ton of leverage. Pay me. We'll get into a good faith agreement. That's not illegal. What the issue here is that the Pac-12 is trying to say the position they found themselves in somehow should mean that they should be able to pull out of this contract. I got news for everybody in the room. It's not the Mountain West's fault, and it's not Gloria Nevarez's fault that the Pac-12 melted down to the point where these two schools had to go to the Mountain West to try to put a scheduling alliance together.
Well, and I think one of the interesting points, and I will read from text, because I was texting with a contract attorney that I know, who said the covenant of good faith is not just what's expressly written in a contract, but your actions in and around and part of that contract.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sign a contract that says, hey, if you take my members, you're going to have to pay a fee. Acting in good faith is, hey, you have to get into that agreement saying, I'm not going to take your members. But if I do, I know that I'm going to have to pay you. That's acting in good faith.
Yeah.
But it's the other stuff that you do around that contract, your behavior, part and parcel to that contract. None of this adds up to the Pac-12 is going to win this lawsuit.
No, I mean, wouldn't you agree that the Pac-12 is the very definition of not acting in good faith?
I would
here,
agree with that.
right? Because look at if you just look at it from a behavioral standpoint, what did the Pac-12 do here? The Pac-12 was in a dire situation. They were desperate. They needed to get something done. So what did they do? They went and hit the easy button thinking that they could connive their way out of this, meaning, hey, yeah, let's go tell Gloria one thing and let's get all the agreement with the members in the Mountain West. And then, in my opinion, again, my opinion is that you entered into that agreement damn well knowing that your only way back to prominence was going to be to poach these schools, because there wasn't another path, right? We've talked about this so much that there wasn't another way for you as a conference to get back to being viable, to get back to 8 to 10 members, because every other school in the country is spoken for.
And the thing that where I struggle, and how do I say this gently? These two entities, the Mountain West and the Pac-12, I feel like they're just slowly stabbing each other. That's what I feel like this is. And these lawsuits, all this does is elongate the process. And my opinion is that the Pac-12 thought it could bleed the Mountain West dry.
Right.
Because I think the Pac-12 thought they were getting UNLV. And at this point, they have not secured UNLV. If they go to court and somehow win these lawsuits and get out of the poaching fees and get out of the exit fees, UNLV is going to end up in the Pac-12.
100%.
I don't see how that happens, especially coming from the perspective of the Pac-2, who just won 18 months or 2 years ago. What was it? $250 million from the exiting 10 members of the conference in the exact same scenario. So my frustration, and frustration might be the wrong word, my disappointment here is that the Pac-12 behaved this way, that the Mountain West tried to protect itself, tried to offer an olive branch. And not only did the Pac-12 not take that olive branch, they took a blowtorch to the olive tree.
Yeah. You tried to burn the whole damn tree down, bro.
And my point is, this is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't be friends.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you can't have two entities with similar goals and aspirations competing for the one exact thing, which is one TV deal. Because again, I will maintain there's one TV deal out there that allows a conference to thrive and survive. There's not two.
Mm-hmm.
And I will just stand on the business that I have reported. There are no negotiations currently with the Pac-2 and the major networks. ESPN, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. I was told the other day, in fact, the CW wants to know why the Pac-2 is dragging their feet. Because I think the CW knows there's no negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, I have been told repeatedly that the Mountain West and its TV partners are negotiating an extension to their current deal. And that Gloria Nevarez and her constituents in the Mountain West have multiple multiple million dollar branding deals. And they are trying to get a media rights deal done, whether that's an extension, a whole new deal, whatever that winds up being.
Right.
Whoever gets that deal done first, in my opinion, is in a much better position. I would not want to be the Mountain West. I would not want to be the Pac-12 if the other beats you to a media rights deal.
Well, and I think it's
very difficult.
Bro, I think this is the other portion of the argument if you were to go to court on the poaching fees thing. If you're the Mountain West, are you not bringing to court a fully vetted and supported argument as to why this situation with the Pac-12 is hurting your ability to close a new media rights extension?
Yeah.
Because because again, remember what the argument was for the Pac-12. The argument was, oh, well, hey, the poaching fees and the way the Mountain West is doing business is preventing us as a conference from doing interstate commerce or whatever, right? You guys all remember that.
Interference with commerce.
Right.
Yep.
So we all remember that argument from the Pac-12, which seemingly has disappeared. We haven't heard that being officially reported for probably 6 months now. Now, the thing here is that if you're the Mountain West, again, when we take a real unbiased look at this, my problem here is if you're the Mountain West going to court, you not only have the contract you sign on your side, right? Hey, like we signed this agreement. We were all on the same page. We signed it in good faith. You know, that puts the Pac-12 in a hell of a position to essentially argue that you signed this contract in bad faith, I guess. I guess that'd be your argument. But the point more is that whatever angle you want to come at this thing from, you're not getting away from the fact that the Pac-12 violated the agreement that was signed. That's number one. Number two, the Pac-12 multiple times has refused to come to the table on merger talks. And then number three, you can't get away from the fact that it's not the Mountain West's fault that these two schools, and really, what is it, 7 schools now, are in this position, not because of the Mountain West, but because of the decisions and actions not taken by the former regime in the Pac-12. So I just really struggle with the idea, and I really struggle with the reporting that we're hearing by, you know, the great radio wizard and many other people out there that are saying, oh, the Pac-12 is close to winning a lawsuit. I would love for one of those guys to walk me down the road of facts that say that's the case.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get into the comments section. Look at that. The first one.
Oh.
You've been wrong this entire time about the Pac-12. Okay, do tell.
Please.
And I want you guys to understand, I am wide open to an intelligent conversation about what you think we have been wrong about. And I don't know you. I've never heard of Popeye for you.
And every time someone comes in, and we do this every single time, just so you know, Popeye's chicken, we know this. We do this every single time, right? Someone who it doesn't listen to the show regularly, is new to the show, will come in and say that we've been wrong the whole time, which tells me apparently you've been listening. You just haven't been commenting. So thank you. But then number two, I would love for you to just lay out the argument. What specifically have we been wrong about? Because everybody likes to come in here and say that we've been wrong, but then somehow
Pac-12 supporter likes to come in here and tell us that we don't know what we're talking about. You tell us we don't know the law. Bro, you're right. I don't know the law, but I go and talk to people who do. I have multiple times. And again, I just ask you, that's Harvard law.
Point.
That's Harvard law right there. So again, I ask you, this is a good faith doctrine in contract law. Tell me who put the Pac-12 on one side of this and the Mountain West on the other side. They are parties to a contract that included poaching fees. Tell me how the Pac-12 comes out of this on the right side, when it clearly states every contract imposes upon each party a duty of good faith and fair dealing in its performance and its enforcement. Moreover, the two authorities elaborate good faith in similar terms, which I am told, I went to a legal person that I know and said, what does that mean? Because I don't quite understand it. And what that means is your actions related to that contract you signed require you to act in good faith to uphold the tenets of the contract. Not only do you have a good faith requirement to execute the terms of that contract that you signed without duress, and they have no proof that they signed this under duress, you also have a good faith basis that you must act under in party to that contract. You owe that to your partner in that contract. So when you say, I don't know what I'm talking about and I've been wrong, Mr. Popeye for you, do tell. Do tell. I'm here for the conversation, my guy.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I would love to hear what you think we've been wrong about.
Sergeant Moorhew, just merge already. We've had such a good conference with both new leagues.
100% agree.
And I want to make this clear. We have asked Gloria Nevarez. We have asked Teresa Gould. We have essentially asked the commissioners from every league involved, including the AAC, to come on the show. We have asked multiple athletic directors that I have had 1v1 conversations with to come on the show. And to this point, Nobody has said, everybody says, yeah, I'd love to come on the show. Let me see if I can fit it in my schedule. How many of these athletic directors have come on the show or fitted in their schedule? None. Because I think it is, when you're on the wrong side of this, I think it is very difficult for you to come out and make public statements because you wind up saying things like on the back of the envelope calculations.
Oh, and I think if we, to that point, like if you think about what we've heard from both of these conferences, the last thing we, in an official capacity, right, in the media that we have received was that statement from Gloria. It might have been 10 days ago, maybe, or so. I think it was. So for me, I look at this and this statement right here. So this is the last official thing we've heard. And that's the other, to be honest with you guys, that's the concerning portion for me is we're not hearing anything from the Pac-12.
Dead silence.
Like there's no statements, there's no media availability, there's no nothing.
Dead silence.
I don't know what that means on a factual basis. In my opinion, I feel like that means there's not a whole lot to say if you're the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And you're trying to work your way through things.
I don't, and listen, I understand why if you're a Pac-12 supporter, this upsets you. If Teresa Gould, the commissioner of the Pac-12, was on this show, I would specifically ask her, have you had any intention at any point of merging with the Mountain West? Did you understand the tenets of this scheduling agreement when you signed it? If she answers those two questions in either direction, does that help or hurt the Pac-12? It hurts the Pac-12. Because she can't say, well, no, I never had intentions of merging. Yes, I had intentions of. You're going to get picked apart on that.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know the tenets of this scheduling agreement when you signed it? Yes, I did. You basically just lost your lawsuit right there.
Yeah.
No, I did not. Well, then why did you sign it? Well, you basically just lost your lawsuit. Did you understand the poaching penalties that were part of that contract? Yes, I did. Well, then what good faith basis? What good faith basis do you have not to pay those poaching fees? Because that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not my opinion. This is not my opinion. A noted contract lawyer has told me this directly. What's going to happen is they're going to go in front of a judge. And I would point out, I said this same thing when the Pac-12 and its exiting 10 members wound up in a courtroom. If you're the exiting 10 members of the Pac-12, you signed an agreement. And then when USC and UCLA left announced they were leaving the conference, what did you do to them? You ostracized them. You took their seats at the table and said, we don't care what you have to say going forward. Enjoy purgatory until you leave this league. And then when the two remaining, Oregon State and Washington State, essentially did the same thing to the exiting 10 members, those exiting 10 members said, that's a violation of our agreement. And what did the judge say? Essentially, well, but look what you did to USC and UCLA. So I would ask you, I don't know if you're Fresno State and Utah State, who sources have told us were two of the loudest members in the room about enforcing exit fees. And then when you left the conference, you don't want to pay exit fees. There's no precedent on your side here.
Yeah.
If you want to poach members from the Mountain West, cut a check. That's what this comes down to.
Yes.
I understand why you're suing, because that's what we do in this country now. We like laws and rules until they're applied to us.
Well, I would also add to that. I would agree with that, but I also think they're suing because they don't have money. That's the problem.
They have money to pay lawyers. They don't have money to pay poaching fees.
Yeah. So, and again, just going to keep saying it day after day after day. Get it burnt into your head. At some point, the Pac-12 is going to have a revelation. The light bulb's going to go on.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me get this right. We're trying not to pay these poaching fees because we're short on money.
Yeah.
How do you get more money? Go to the tech world. Go get private money to fund your campaign against the Mountain West.
That's the beginning and the end, in my opinion. All right, let's get a couple more comments in here. David Persons, this is what the Pac-12 gets for having been and being led by Farkleberry merchants.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question they have poor leadership.
I think my opinion on this is known. I think the leadership at Washington State crippled this conference. That's my opinion. I think that Washington State was given leadership. They did not provide leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Teresa Gould, who has been in this conference pretty much her entire career, this is business as usual in the Pac-12. They're poorly managed. And in my opinion, you should have merged with the Mountain West, and Gloria Nevarez should have been the commissioner of that new entity. And we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Yeah.
You'd be talking about the number one G5 league in the country, because collectively, I have had now multiple TV sources tell me, with a collective league, they would have been getting $12 to $15 million. Now, you spread that out, that's a lot more, mouths to feed, obviously. But you probably would not have added the NIUs of the world. You likely would have added Gonzaga. No, there's no question. Gonzaga didn't want to go to the Big 12. But having said that, you'd all be making more money.
Yeah. If in the beginning, so like if the Pac-12 went before they had signed the scheduling alliance contract, if the Pac-12 would have said to Gloria Nevarez and the Mountain West, hey, our end goal here is to merge with you guys. Unfortunately, we're out of time for this calendar year.
Right.
So what we have to do is we have to put an agreement together that talks about a scheduling alliance. And then after this season, we would like to merge, and we would like to add these schools to the conference, like the NIUs of the world and Gonzaga and whatever, and create this juggernaut of a G5. If they would have simply said that up front, and maybe they did and they still poached, that could have happened. I don't know. But if they would have just communicated that and gotten in line together, we don't have to be here. It didn't need to go this way. It could have gone a completely different direction, just like it could have gone a different direction in the old Pac-12.
Yeah.
But once again, here we are.
Yeah, I just don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. And
well, if you're the Mountain West, you're going to sweat the Pac-12. That's what you're going to do.
I don't think you have a choice. But you know what? The thing that bothers me so much about this is that Pac-12 fans deserve better.
Agreed.
And I'm just going to keep going to Oregon State fans. Oregon State fans didn't deserve this. They did not deserve this. And I understand. And I say this to UNLV fans. UNLV fans don't deserve to be in the position that they're in. I think UNLV fans are twisting in the wind. I think UNLV fans have this belief that somehow, some way, they're going to wind up. They're going to wind up in a position where they're like, oh, hey, yeah, we're going to the Pac-12, or we're not going to the Pac-12. Like, they didn't deserve this. Oregon State fan didn't deserve this, because Oregon State had done everything right, and they simply got caught in a space and time where they didn't act soon enough, and they didn't act decisively enough, and there was nowhere for them to go. And now you're in a position where, in my opinion, based on the things that I've heard and seen, Washington State and their lack of leadership has crippled Oregon State. And you're in a spot now where you're in the exact same position you were in previously. Because what are we at? We've got schools exiting a conference. We're in legalities. We're spending tens of millions of dollars on legal fees. We are in a position where we've got, people being mouthpieces for the Pac-12, spewing misinformation, in my opinion, purposefully spewing misinformation, because that's what we do in this country now, right? That's what we do. You're putting out lies and half-truths. And I can tell you, talking to administrators at the highest level in these situations, it's crippling. Because you may think that your nonsense and your BS about, hey, on my Substack, and I'm just the radio wizard of the Northwest. that BS you're putting out, I can tell you the back of the envelope calculation, humiliation that you did to yourself, lost all credibility for that league.
Back of the envelope calculations.
You just got to stop. You got to stop with the misinformation. If you are a UNLV fan and you have some belief that you're going to the Big 12, nobody at UNLV believes that. Because I have talked to people at the very tippy top of that joint. And I've asked, and nobody has ever said, yeah, we're going to the Big 12. Yeah, we're getting into the Big 12. That's our goal. Nobody's ever said that. You know what they're trying to do right now? They're trying to build a basketball program that can win games. Because UNLV, I was told directly, understands that they have to revenue generate through their basketball program. It's a critical part of their financial infrastructure. So you want to know if UNLV is doing well? Just look at their basketball team. Because their football team is strong. Now, again, huge transition right now, but UNLV is broke. They don't have money to go in. They have money to operate. They have money to be a full operational athletic department. They do not have money to pay exit fees and poaching fees and lawyers to fight those battles.
Yep.
To fight for their grant of rights, which they are now locked into the Mountain West on. If you want to come in here and say, hey, you guys have been wrong at every turn about the Pac-12, please detail that, which you still have not done.
Yeah.
You still have not done. In my opinion, I don't think we've been wrong. And
that's what happens. You come in here as a Pac-12 fan and you say we're wrong, and then we never hear from you again.
Let's see. Red Buckeye. Ohio State hired Matt Patricia as their DC. Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Geoff. Good morning, Geoff. Anthony Rendon is still on your roster. You've been wrong about Del Taco the entire time. It's amazing. I've said it's amazing. I am the Del Taco guy on the show.
And you guys are jerks for not giving it enough credit.
I am a Del Taco. Did you guys see the Del Taco?
Dude.
I think it's Del Taco that has an aggressive expansion plan to open over 100 more locations in the next 18 months. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You want crinkle cut French fries? Del Taco.
Dude.
You want a crispy chicken burrito? Del Taco.
You want a damn good double Del?
God, why
all
do you
day,
always
bro?
Go to the burger?
Because it's bomb, dude. It's good. It is really good. Like,
you put me in positions where you say stuff like the double Del.
I don't understand why you're off the double Del train.
Because it's a taco place.
Who the hell cares?
Clearly I do. Well, you're a nobody. I get it. I don't know anything about the Pac-12
Morty,
or burgers from Taco
The
Joy.
genesis of the greatness of Del Taco on the program was the double Del.
It was. That's true. Can't deny that. UW fan Jim can't say you're right and wrong until we see the TV deal and the court decisions.
That's fine.
I'm not telling you that I've been right or wrong. I'm not the one making that claim. What I'm telling you is we've been accurate. That's what I'm telling you. We've been accurate about what was happening in the previous, because remember, Utah was never leaving. Remember, the Pac-12 was going to be fine and get a $50 million per year back of the envelope calculation deal.
And they were going to get $600 million and,
And I warned you about that guy, and I warned you about all these podcasts who, put people with no credibility on that say they're going to get a $600 million windfall that we told you was never possible.
And they were going to stand in the way of the
Kirk
college
Schultz,
football playoff committee.
Kirk Schultz was going to block any movement in the college football playoff committee. He was never doing that. We told you that. They all told us we didn't know what we were talking about. We actually talk to people in the middle of these situations.
Yeah.
We have really good relationships. Anybody telling you that this case is going to be dismissed or thrown out, or anybody telling you that contract law is not on the side of the Mountain West, find me a legal scholar. Find me anybody who understands. And you'll know that they don't know what they're talking about, because they're not talking about like this good faith thing. I'm not the one who came up with that.
Yeah.
Do you think I just showed up one day and was like, oh, what about the good faith clause? I'm not a lawyer. But I know really, really powerful contract lawyers. And I know people in the middle of these situations. So I'm not telling you that we're right or wrong. I'm telling you we're accurate.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. Jay Chapman, PAC could always bribe the judge.
Right. Yeah.
TJ Beck, your buddy.
Yeah.
Monty has been nails on the Pac-12 from day one. I've listened to all the media talking heads. Monty was right. Wilner and Canzano have been dead wrong from the beginning now. Period. New paragraph. I'm not going to be the guy that mentions names. But when you put on George Kliavkoff on your show and he just spews lies and half-truths, and you're like, oh, man.
Calculations.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Georgie Poo, my guy. And you've just repeatedly been a mouthpiece with zero credibility.
Yeah.
For the Pac-12, you make your own decision. PAC homers always coming in with emotions and no evidence to back up their comments. Just another day on the Monty Show.
It really is, and that's the funny part. Like Popeye's chicken guy hasn't commented again. Still waiting.
Because they don't. Steely, you have been right about smiles and glory holes, Monty.
Smiles
hey,
and glory holes.
Did I not tell you that Matt Patricia was your guy yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't want to work anymore. Turns out he does. Couple more, then we'll get to Matt Patricia. Knox, too tall. What if 5 Mountain West schools went to the Pac-12 wanting out of the Mountain West, not the PAC trying to take the teams? Is there a difference? Yeah, but that's not what happened in the PAC. The PAC isn't saying that's what happened.
Yeah.
The PAC is not saying that's what happened.
The PAC is not running from what they did.
No,
they're
the PAC is
that,
not trying to say that they didn't poach schools. The PAC is trying to say they're not going to pay the poaching fees because they're illegal.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That's pretty much what they're saying, dude.
And donuts. Arbitration very well could be. These lawsuits are levers of negotiation. That's all they are. They're levers of negotiation. And I just don't know how this is never going before a judge.
Yeah.
The Mountain West, I don't know if their motion to dismiss has been adjudicated yet, ruled on. I am not 100% sure on that. Jay Beers, good morning. Why are you even talking about a legal agreement for 46 minutes? What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean, dude?
G. Lee, Monty, so what does Pac-2 fall football schedule look like for the fall? Their schedule's in place. See, and I think if you look at the Mountain West, it's not like they're not going to abide by the terms of the deal that they made, the scheduling agreement. If we look at the Pac-2,
Mm-hmm.
like you look at Oregon State's schedule, it's Cal, Fresno State, Texas Tech, Oregon, Houston, App State, Wake Forest, Louisiana, Washington State, Sam Houston, Tulsa, Washington State.
Pac-10.
So you have a schedule. The schedule's not a question.
Yeah.
Aiden Cabrera, when are the courts for this lawsuit? I don't know the specific dates. I can find out for you. Knox too tall. What if Boise, Fresno, Colorado State, Utah State, San Diego went to the Pac-12?
Man, you asked that before.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just not the case, dude. That's not what happened.
We don't do the what ifs, ands, and how about we deal with the facts of the situation. We get too far into this, but what if, because there are no what ifs. There is a contract and you signed it.
No Welmanis.
Yeah, there's a contract and you signed it. What are the tenets of that contract? Are you in breach of that contract? And how are we going to cure that breach?
And again, just for perspective for you guys, the thing I always point to as a good example of like contract workings and law is just look at professional sports. Notice like when like Myles Garrett, perfect example. He's got a contract with the Browns, right? They both signed that in good faith, and now Myles wants out. But notice, nobody's going to court over that, right? Nobody, like we don't have some lawsuit happening over Myles Garrett's contract because they all understand, hey, This dude's not trying to be here anymore, so we got to figure it out with him. That's the difference. And here, the only reason we're going to court, or potentially, is because the Pac-12 doesn't have enough money to pay the poaching fees. That's
Correct.
the only reason this is going to court, or would ever even be a threat to enter a courtroom.
Maury Alvarez, he lives in Florida. PAC fans don't deserve this, but Pac-2 actions are causing them to deserve this. Well,
Facts.
you're not wrong about that. Hero 75 for $5. The best quote-unquote win the Pac-12 can likely get is being allowed to pay the Mountain West in installments over a couple of years instead of all at once.
And hey, maybe that is valuable. That's a great point.
Maybe everything's
that's something that you can get worked
everything's
out.
negotiable,
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah.
Right? Oh boy. Reister JP. Del Taco is for gringos. Well, I'm a gringo.
Yeah, I'm
The bottom line is there is too much dead weight in the Mountain West for a merger. That's why I have a hard time seeing the Mountain West getting a good TV deal. Okay, so let's talk about that. What is dead weight in the Mountain West? Because you're not getting a TV deal based on the bottom half of your conference.
right.
You're getting a TV deal based on the eyeballs that your conference in totality brings to the table, right? So if we say dead weight in the Mountain West, okay, is NIU dead weight? Well, clearly not, right? Is UTEP dead weight? Clearly not. Why is the Pac-12 trying to get Texas State to join their conference? You need a foothold in a major metropolitan area like El Paso, Texas, UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso.
Yeah.
So what I say to you is, if we look at the Mountain West, for instance, you can say that, yeah, did they lose Boise? Sure, but is Boise bringing you a massive TV audience? Not on a week in, week out basis. And I again ask for the Pac-12. Okay. So if the Mountain West, their big brands are UNLV, certainly is a huge television market, right? But do you understand the television market in Las Vegas versus San Diego? I'm guessing you don't, but that's just my opinion. Because if you have dead weight in the Mountain West, what are the major bonanzas of TV deals in the Pac-12? Because Fresno's not a massive TV market. The Central Valley, and I know we've talked about this, we have direct experience with this.
Yeah.
The Central Valley of California is in a massive transition with immigration and deportations and seemingly action against illegals in this country, those in this country illegally. That is a core population group in the Central Valley of California, which is exactly where Fresno State is. So where is the booming TV metropolis of the Pac-12? They're very similar conferences.
Yeah.
And
Which again is why the point you brought up so many times, hey, you should merge.
Yes.
And then you would get a more valuable package.
Because Boise and Colorado.
Got news for you. Logan, Utah, it by your definition is dead weight.
That is massive dead weight.
If that's what we're calling it.
Massive
right?
dead weight.
So I understand where you're coming from with this question. Like, hey, if the Mountain West has these brands that are not big TV markets, how I have a hard time believing, I think you said a merger would happen or they would get a TV deal. And the point is not necessarily a conference's dead weight, because every conference has dead weight. Like, let's be on the same page about that. The big boys have dead weight. The Big Ten, the SEC.
But Jake, Fort Collins, Colorado.
Right? Like they all have dead weight. The question in the conversation is more, hey, what would be, if we're going to enter into a media rights contract with you, what are the biggest games that we're going to get? What's the value proposition of these matchups? And so that's the conversation you're having. And again, the other thing I would point out.
That's it.
The other thing I'd point out is the Mountain West already has a media rights package, signed and agreed to, and they're working on an extension. So those relationships are in place already. They've had this conversation.
I think, in my opinion, they're both really good G5 conferences. One of them's going to, in my opinion, that I can't see them just talking to people in television. I can't see either one of them separately eclipsing $8 million.
Yeah.
I just can't see that. And again, even if they merge and you put them all in the same conference and you get $12 to $15 million, that's spread over more members. You're a G5 conference. One of you is going to survive separately or as a merged entity. One of you will survive, in my opinion, because only one of you, there's not enough money for both of you to thrive. And and again, what if they each were individually to get $18 million or $8 million, which I don't think is going to happen? That's $16 million collectively.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, dude.
It is. I cannot tell you. I talked to representatives. I want to be careful. I'm trying not to out people, but talking to people in sports television about this exact situation, everybody I talk to agrees. Yeah, one of them is going to get a deal and the other is not going to be in a good spot. It's going to be difficult for both of them to get a deal. Neither one of them is significantly better than the other. Because in the Pac-12, I honestly think the Pac-12 situation is that they've got to find a way to win basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
Because we keep talking about football. They've both got good football programs. Does either one of them make a good basketball league? I don't think so. I truly do not think so. And I've been telling you for a year and a half, when is somebody going to invite St. Mary's? The problem with St. Mary's is they don't have a basketball gym.
Yeah.
They quite literally play in a high school gym. It's tiny, which makes it very difficult to compete at a high level. Revenue generation. But you've got to add basketball revenue to this league. Whichever one you want to point to. The Pac-12 and the Mountain West both could use their basketball programs to go to the tournament and not go to the tournament, not go to the college football playoff, win college football playoff games, win NCAA tournament games.
Yes.
How you make more money.
Get to the Final Four, man.
But here, I can only say it so many times. And Jim, I'm not dealing with opinions. I want you guys to understand that. The opinions that I have, I am not going to inject my personal opinion into this. I am using facts and conversations I've had. Nobody believes the Pac-12 is significantly better than the Mountain West. Not one TV source, not one administrator I've spoken to says, oh yeah, we got to get to the Pac-12 because it's significantly better than the AAC. Where's all the Memphis to the Pac-12 talk? I would remind you, Memphis signed a grant of rights to stay in the AAC. So not only UNLV, but Memphis as well. You think they want to fight that fight to go to the Pac-12? If the Pac-12 was such a honeypot, why haven't they done that?
Mm-hmm.
UNLV, fine, they have financial difficulties. They're really constricted financially. But Memphis isn't. Now, I'm not saying Memphis is a booming economic athletic department. They're winning basketball games. They're going to the tournament. Yeah. They're going to win tournament games because they don't want to deal with the travel. And frankly, the money's not good enough. And you lowballed them to start. So, yeah. And donuts. PAC looks good for a regional conference, which is what they are. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
They're a G5. I think there is a belief that I have said here, the PAC sucks. I've never said that.
Yeah.
It's a G5 conference. It is what it is.
The reality of the situation is people don't like that our reporting has been accurate and that accurate reporting has, reflected negatively on the Pac-12, right? Like that, hey, like whether it's the court stuff and they don't really have a legal standing, whether it's the TV portion about like what they would get. Like I remember, must have been 2 weeks ago, there was a whole meltdown on the show about we said the Pac-12 would, reasonably would be looking at like 8 million a year, not 12 to 15.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone got all pissed off about that. And I'm just telling you guys, like, we're not the ones who come in here and say that we've been wrong or we've been right all the time. What we're telling you is that, hey, we have really accurate information. We understand like how the Pac-12 is viewed from as I always say, from everybody in the room, right? If the Pac-12 is sitting at the table in the middle of the room, you've got TV folks over here, you've got the judge over here, you've got Gloria Nevarez and the Mountain West folks over here, you've got prospective schools in Pac-12 expansion over here. We understand how all these folks in the room view this conference.
Yes.
And again, that's not our opinion. That is what we have been told from those people. Like, that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, is that we're not just sitting here saying, oh, well, we think, or well, like, no, if you want my opinion is that I think the Pac-12 way overshot its reach here with trying to get these schools. The Pac-12 legitimately and wholeheartedly thought that they could go into the Mountain West under the scheduling alliance contract that they signed, and they thought that they would be able to do that contract, poach the schools, get out of the poaching fees, and ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
They were mistaken. I can assure you of that.
Yeah. Joey B., Fort Collins, Colorado, with the surrounding cities equals 750,000 people. Not in a DMA, it doesn't. No, it does not. A designated market area? No, it does not. Equals dead weight. Fort Collins. Okay.
You got to explain it.
Do you guys know what a DMA is? A DMA basically is your broadcast area. When you're negotiating TV rights deals, like you're like, okay, Colorado State, their DMA is split between Denver and Cheyenne. And the biggest rub, and the reason they're such massive rivals, who pulls more of the Denver DMA? Boulder or Fort Collins? And it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
It is Boulder. It is Colorado. And when you look at Fort Collins, and I would have to look up, and I'm not trying to be a red ass, I think Fort Collins is somewhere around, what is their population? Somewhere around 150,000, 170,376 as of 2023. You're not, as a TV entity, I don't know the people of Fort Collins, and they're all terrible people. I'm a business guy. I'm talking about business. The Fort Collins DMA, you don't get to just say, well, we're a Denver TV market. What that means when we say designated media area, that means that you get to broadcast Denver TV stations and Cheyenne TV stations in that market. That does not mean that Fort Collins gets to say, well, we get the Denver population. No, you don't.
And it does not mean that even if you did get the Denver population, that all 750,000 people watch your sport.
You're not it. This is like, and this is the argument with state. Check me if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Washington State, I believe, pulls 1 million people for football games on television. They pretty routinely draw 1 million, I think. Okay, you can make the argument then, well, let's, okay. What does Colorado State pull people from Denver? They do not. They do not. Their DMA is split between Cheyenne, Wyoming and Denver because they get TV stations from those two markets. So I'm not saying that the people of Fort Collins, bro, it's not about the people, man.
Yeah.
Joey B also says Pac-12 heads to G5 status. Cued the background music. Yeah, I don't. Does anybody believe that the Pac-12 is trying to become a P4 again? A P5 again? That's not happening.
I think people just assumed that.
That's
when
not
they
happening.
tried to rebuild the conference.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
It's Rob. Adding Texas State is also dead weight, but it puts you. It is meaningful. I just don't think it makes a. You don't have anywhere to go. If you're going to add Texas State, I understand that, but you better add Sac State, Sacramento State. I get pounded routinely for this on TikTok. You love Sac State. I don't love Sac State. You need a viable member that has money and the ability to jump from that level to the G5 level. FCS to FBS, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of human cost. It's a lump sum check. I think it's $5 million. You got to pay it's $500 million, essentially. When you get into benefits, when you get into cost of humanity, travel, tutors, people that facilitate for student athletes. You got to have better buses. You got to have a better airfare deal. You got to have a better training table. You got to have better facilities, which Sac State already does. Like, it's $500 million to make a jump from one level to the next. It's not something small. Yes, realignment's awful. I agree with that. I'm not saying the PAC is a power conference. Just what's left in the Mountain West is not good.
See, that's the difference, though. You're Jim, you're having an opinion, or you're having a conversation based on what you think these schools are worth. We're having a conversation about what a TV entity would look at and what that valuation would then equate to. I'm not talking about whether San Jose State is a quality football program. They're not. Like, I'm not saying that whatever school
and they don't deliver you
to,
San Francisco.
Yeah, they don't deliver you San Francisco. Like that's the difference. And maybe this is the issue in the comments section. Like, we're having two different conversations here. I could give a damn about San Jose State football or with all due respect, San Diego State football. Neither of them are relevant in any sense of the word. They may strap the pads on. They may run plays. I don't know that they do because I don't watch their games, because I don't have a need to watch their games. That's the reality of it. So ultimately, I'm growing a little bit fatigued on this difference of like perspective on the conversation. We're not saying these schools and these football teams suck. It's not about the people in Fort Collins.
But Jim's another guy that wants us to be wrong, which I'm okay with
fine.
that. They want us to be wrong. We're accurate. I'm not here for your emos, dude. Like, I mean, you can want the Mountain West to suck. They don't. You can want the Pac-12 to be elite. They're not. They're both really solid G5 conferences. I don't believe that one is significantly better than the other.
I just think one has much stronger footing to operate from right now than the other does.
And view it as a mountain. You're climbing a mountain. Where on the mountain is the Pac-12 versus the Mountain West? Be well. Where the Pac-12 is significantly further down the mountain than the Mountain West is. So, is what it is. Why would the UNLV move to the Pac-12? Because I think there's a belief, and I ask this question when I speak to people at UNLV regularly. I've asked, what's the upside of the Pac-12? And the answer I routinely get from UNLV is there's a belief that the money would be better in the Pac-12. A belief. And so I said, well, what do you have to back that up? The conversations that we've had with the Pac-12. So they're telling you the money is going to be better, but they have no way to back that up. They're basing, and again, when we talk about opinion versus reality, I can tell you multiple athletic departments have told me, hey, we were promised $12 to $15 million of revenue in the Pac-12.
Again, pipe dream.
We were told that we were going to get a lump sum payout day one of the new Pac-12 because they're going to win the poaching fee lawsuits and they're going to dramatically reduce the exit fees, which that money is then going to be. But if you're Boise State, okay, so let me get this right. You're going to negotiate to lower your exit fee, and then you're going to give whatever you negotiate, whatever you saved in those negotiations, you're going to give to the Pac-12 conference? No, you're not. No, you're not. Why would you do? So you're going to pay them to pay you to pay? That doesn't make sense. It makes no sense that, okay, well, I said the exit fee is $10. I negotiated it down to $5, which I then paid the Mountain West. I took the $5 I saved and then gave it to the Pac-12, who then gave me $7? That doesn't make sense.
No.
So the reason that UNLV believes that there's more money in the Pac-12 is because they're being told that. Check that against Dr. Ed Scott, the athletic director at Memphis, who we've asked to come on the show, and he's declined because they don't want to talk about the Pac-12 because I think they're worried about getting sued. He straight up said, and I don't know if we still have the bite or not, he straight up said they lowballed him. You're trying to get Memphis, who most people believe is some kind of savior.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get Memphis, and your argument is, well, Memphis, why don't you come here and take far less money than we're going to give everybody else? And yeah, you know, you'll be better off traveling and doing that. You really went to Memphis and lowballed them.
If y'all haven't seen the latest reports of what's going on between the Mountain West and the Pac 6, 7 right now, this is a fluid situation, right? So that's the other thing. When we talk about the decision that was made by the University of Memphis to not join the PAC, as I like to call them right now at this time, that was not a binary decision. That was not a no, we're not ever going anywhere. That was based on the offer that was presented in front of us, that we're not taking that offer because we don't think less of ourselves. And I came here for a reason. You heard me in the press conference. You've heard me in any interview I've done. I'm bullish on Memphis's future. And so I think sometimes we get enamored by the new and we want to take a bad deal. And that deal was not a good deal for the University of Memphis. It certainly wasn't a good deal for our athletic department. And most importantly, it was a really, really bad deal for our Olympic sports.
So again, you can root for us to be wrong, but show me the evidence.
I want factual evidence that you have.
Show me. Because I'm not talking to my friends who are begging me to mouthpiece for them. I'm telling you, there's nothing that says the Pac-12 is a dramatically better situation for anybody. For anybody.
Well, unless you ask the Pac-12. And then,
yeah. All right, a couple more, because then I really want to get to Matt Patricia. Aiden, what is New Mexico University's DMA? Aren't they 500,000 people?
I don't know.
Albuquerque?
We don't.
560,274 is Albuquerque's population. They're their own DMA. And I do not believe they are dead weight. Albuquerque's a good market. Monty, hey, Mike Smith. Monty loves the sack. Hey, man. Sacramento. Hello, Elk Grove. Hello, Rockland. Hello, Granite Bay.
It's a damn good area.
Sacramento's phenomenal. Aiden, what's New Mexico University's? No, they're not dead weight. Sac versus Fresno. You'd have riots at those games. I think that would be a phenomenal rivalry. I really have heartfelt care for the people of the Central Valley. I have great concern about their ability to survive. I think that the ag business is going to take a beating. Agriculture in this country is going to change. And I feel so much empathy. I have so much empathy for those folks because that's a difficult life. Ryan Dooley, do you think the leadership of the Pac-12 lied to the incoming schools to keep their job? No, I don't think they lied. I think lying is an emo comment. Did they overstate their position based on their belief? Maybe. You're not getting $12 to $15 million a year in a media deal. That's not happening. And I think the biggest issue for the Pac-12 is you've got to win those lawsuits, because what you sold was, we're going to save the poaching fees.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, take that $255 million war chest that they got from the exiting 10 members. I think it was 250, 255, whatever it was. Let's call it $250 million. You take the $250 million that the exiting 10 members left behind. Do you think that it's still $250 million? It's not. Because you've been spending that money. You have now massive legal fees because your retainer ain't cutting the mustard for your legal fees. Because somebody said that the other day in our YouTube comments. Well, they have them on retainer. What's it matter? Do you guys, what's a retainer? Hey, give us pay us $10,000 a month, whatever your legal retainer is. My guess at a Pac-12 level, it's 6 figures a month. Pay me $100,000 a month. Do you guys know what that is in a year? That's $1.2 million a year. That's your legal retainer. Do you think they've spent more than $1.2 million in legal fees?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
How would you not? How would you not? I don't believe they lied. No. Mike Smith, Memphis would have to get enough to justify the travel costs. And what Dr. Ed Scott, the athletic director at Memphis, was saying there is, it's not even the money on its own that was insulting that you lowballed us. You have to consider we have to travel. Okay, better buses, airfare, all of that. But we need tutors. We need mental health professionals. We need a better cut of technology because now we're going to be on the road longer and we still have to execute academically. Right? What was Colorado's big win this year? Hey, the football team averaged 3.0 for the first time ever at Colorado. Yes, academics still matter. I know it's crazy, which you guys still don't believe me on that. Academics matter. They do. UW fan Jim, I don't hate the Mountain West. I don't want you to be wrong. I just think you are, but we will see in the end. Okay. What have we been? And I can't, this is the part that you're a Washington State or a Washington fan.
Yeah.
What track record do I have? And again, Jim, I think you're a bit of an antagonist, which is fine. Even on Roma Dunze's route running and what he was going to be with the Bears, I think I was pretty flipping spot on about that. Even on, and I again, I'm not going to tell you, we talked to the top of the totem pole at Washington.
And they called us.
And they did call us. And it started as a Pier 6 brawl, right? With the people at Washington. That started as a brawl.
Yeah.
They called us and lit us up. And then they're like, hey, by the way, so when we said, hey, Washington is not going to approve anything over 50% streaming and none of their tier 1 in full stream. And Washington fans also, you guys don't know what you're talking about. And then it turned out that Washington was one of the people that didn't want the new media deal because it was like 75% streaming and all of their tier 1 was going to be on stream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can keep rooting against us, which is cool.
I'm
here for it.
This is my ask of anybody, including Jim. I don't care who you are. If you're going to come in here and say that you think we're wrong, even though we've been pretty accurate, like I can't tell you the last thing that we had just egregiously missed on,
right?
Then I want to know, hey, what you think we're wrong? What facts or what information do you have to support your opinion?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm waiting for. If you want, I don't take it personally that you think we're wrong. I don't care if you think we're wrong, to be honest with you, because it's not the Jim Show, it's the Monty Show, right? so I don't care if you think we're wrong, but if you're going to come in here and say, hey, I just think you're wrong, then why? How? Like, explain it.
In what that's a Pac-12 supporter and Pac-12 fan can't do that. You can't do it, which is fine. Calford for $9.99. Other than blue cheese, your takes have been spot on. Blue cheese sucks out loud. It's terrible. And donuts. If UCLA are complaining about travel, imagine what Memphis is thinking.
Yeah.
Mick Cronin, the head basketball coach at UCLA,
yeah,
was not happy with his Big Ten friends because they were bitching about having to make a trip a year to sunny and 70 Los Angeles, is what he said. He said, try being us making 4 trips back east every year. It's a tough way of life, dude. It's a great point. Damian Fowler. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Exactly right. Stadium Guy James, who sent you a picture of him. You said he sent you a picture of him in an Anthony Davis jersey.
He sent me the classic bathroom mirror picture selfie
geez.
with an Anthony Davis Mavs jersey.
All he had on was an Anthony Davis jersey.
No, he had on a sweater.
Bro, I don't need to know about all that.
Yeah, you know.
I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is both the Mountain West and the Pac-12 need to get more Texas schools because Texas is growing as a state. Well, one of them has Texas schools. One of them does not. And I don't think Texas State difference making. I don't think so.
It's better than not having Texas, though.
I would agree. I would agree with that. Be well. Monty dropped a Demolition Man reference. Maybe. New Mexico Lobos won the Mountain West in basketball last year. New Mexico's a great program. Albuquerque's a great town. Jesus. Pac-12 is the aging woman past her prime trying to pick up college kids. Are there Cougars in the Pac? Nope.
Teddy.
They'll talk to her and stare at her OSU and Washington State, but no one's going home with her. Could be. And Washington State may have great cleavage. You know, UW fan Jim, I never disagreed with that. Okay. Two Masters. Wow, look at you. Locked on Dixie State is my favorite podcast. I've heard that. I've heard it's a great show.
Right.
Big Papa War Machine. Who are we antagonizing? I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know. Are we antagonizing the Ohio State?
Matt Patricia's got hired.
Matt Patricia's. Because remember yesterday, the Oak State James said Matt Patricia was so fat he needed a comma.
Right. Oh, well, Monty, Matt Patricia's going to get hired.
Matt Patricia's are going to get hired. And then the Ozempic pictures came out. Like Matt Patricia's, he's a Patricia now. There's Matt Patricia's.
Right. That's the apostrophe.
That's the guy that's let it get away from him. Right? That's the guy who doesn't give a rat's ass what he puts on in the morning.
Right.
That's the guy that's like, yeah, screw it. I'm not shaving the day.
Yeah.
We've all had those moments.
He's like a week away from just cutting off the sleeves and not caring at all.
Right. And he's not going to groom the beard. And the wife's going to be like, hey, what are we doing with the beard? He's like, whatever I want. You know. Like
next question.
He's like, as soon as you're as hot as Oak State James's wife, then we can talk and you can tell me what to do. But right now we're doing a neck beard and there's nothing you can do about it. She's like, hey, that you might want to put on a button-up shirt. No, we're doing a windbreaker. Right? He's saying, and then his wife won out and he trimmed the beard and he took off the ball cap. And now all of a sudden he's got a well-pressed and starched button-up shirt. And he's not Matt Patricia's anymore. He's lost so much weight, the comma doesn't apply. And now, Matt Patricia is the defensive coordinator at Ohio State. Do you like the hire, Jake?
I do. I think, Ryan Day needed a name to replace Jimbo. And I think that, I think Matt Patricia, we'll see what he's like at the college level. I mean, he's had some good years in the NFL and had some really bad ones. I don't think we can definitively say if this guy's just going to be a no doubt about it home run at Ohio State. But I do think that you could have done a lot worse, obviously. And that for me is what, if you're a Buckeyes fan, you should be feeling good about. Like, hey, we got Matt Patricia. This is someone who obviously has been around elite head coaches most of his career and has a ton of experience. So hopefully you can parlay that experience into a great defensive scheme. Hopefully, you can continue your recruiting efforts on the defensive side of the ball now that you have him. And hopefully it helps you. And so for me, I liked it. I felt like it was a good move. You really needed a name after Jim went to Petto State. So I liked it. I thought it was a good move.
Yeah, I think Matt Patricia, obviously he's a defensive guru. And I think when you look at what Matt Patricia brings to the recruiting trail, obviously he's got NFL relationships. He's got NFL experience. He knows how to build NFL bodies. He knows how to build. Really, in the Big Ten, you need NFL defensive linemen. He knows how to recruit and build those. I think Matt Patricia's a great rebound from Jim Knowles, and I think as well as Jim Knowles did at Ohio State, and he certainly was a big part of their championship. I don't know that you could have rebounded to a better answer than Matt Patricia,
Right?
Comma or not. I think the guy is. I can't use enough superlatives about his defensive acumen, and I think when you look at his ability to diagnose offenses, because I think a lot of people look at defensive coordinators and they say, well, can he build a good scheme? Yes, he can build a big scheme, but I will continue to believe that the defensive coordinator's best ability is looking at what the opposing offense does and what he can do to eliminate that. And yes, you have to have talent. You have to be able to recruit. You have to be able to develop. All of that's a foregone conclusion. But the best defenses in college football have the ability to look at what their opponent does offensively, diagnose that, and send their strengths at those offenses. And Matt Patricia has always been able to do that. And I think that it's going to be really interesting to see how he transitions. Obviously, we're late in the cycle because Ohio State played later into the season with the college football playoff. And I think you look at now where Ryan Day is and what this means to Ryan Day. It means that he's rebounded very nicely. I think now that you have Hartline on the offensive side and he's built a nice support staff under Brian Hartline, I think that was huge for Ohio State. And I think now Matt Patricia and his experience and his ability to bring in a staff, because he clearly has relationships. This is no different than what Deion Sanders did at Colorado. When you put NFL guys in front of high school football players, they want to go and have relationships with those NFL guys. And then when those NFL guys can say, hey, let me put you in contact with, I think that's a very highbrow way to recruit. And I think it's been very effective across college football for a number of years. It's frankly what Utah does so well. Hey, look at all of our guys in the NFL. In fact, why don't we have all of our NFL guys give you a call and tell you how good it is at Utah? Well, I have a feeling that, whether it's Gerard Mayo or whoever else you want to point to, I think Matt Patricia has a lot of guns that he can bring to bear on the recruiting trail that's going to help him bring in a good bit of talent. And I think if you're a transfer portal guy, which is where these championships are going to be won and lost in the next 5 years, in my opinion, I think if you're a transfer portal guy and Matt Patricia's talking to you about, hey, come play at the Shoe, come play at Ohio State, because I'm going to help you get to the NFL next year. I think that's a really strong position because Matt Patricia is also going to walk around with Super Bowl rings when he's recruiting. Matt Patricia has relationships in his back pocket that, frankly, just most other coaches in the Big Ten don't have. And when we talk about how difficult it is to scale up, I think Matt Patricia is going to have to go through the same transition that a lot of coordinators from professional to college have had to go through. And I think he's uniquely qualified with his experience and success to do that.
Completely agree.
I love the move for Ohio State.
Yeah.
I really do. Let's see. Scott says, bottom line, he does not have Tom Brady. Very good point.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, but no exaggerating. I mean, that's a great point, dude.
Yep. As long as he doesn't go full Charlie Weiss, Nip Sheck's tree hasn't done well. You mean Chapel Bill? Hasn't done well in college so far. No, Bill Belichick doesn't have a great coaching tree. I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. I think it's a good hire from a DC perspective and can continue having that side of the ball being for a force. Yeah. You're not hiring, remember, you're not hiring him to be your lead recruiter. You're not hiring him to be your head coach. None of that. You're hiring him to recruit and coordinate your defense. And I think that is significant because he's walking into a really talented group.
Yep.
He's walking into a talented group.
But they still need to add talent to that roster.
Conundrum, I'm getting my law degree online from classes provided by the Jake and Monty Show.
Yeah.
Hey, man, all I can tell you is, we
are not paid legal professionals. We are not giving you professional advice.
No, and all I'm telling you is I wish I had been a lawyer because I am passionate about the legal game. I am. I'm going to be very interested to see how the Big Ten plays out this year, because I think when we look at what Matt Patricia does for Ohio State, I think this question right here, is Ohio State in position to compete for another national championship? I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think you have a very difficult league now. I mean, listen, and if you're a fan of Pedo State and James Franklin, who in my opinion facilitates sexual assault, what if they don't win the Big Ten this year? You brought back essentially your entire offense. You stole Ohio State's coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
What's your excuse now? At what point do you say to yourself, maybe James Franklin's not the guy at Pedo State? Maybe he's not. And I think this is a make or break year, as last year was for Ohio State. This year is make or break for Pedo State and James Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would agree with that. I think I'm not going to sit here and say that Ohio State is primed to repeat yet. I think we need to see what Julian's saying is. We need to see what the offense is on the field. Obviously, they've got a ton of talent. I don't dispute that. They have enough talent to win a national championship. Don't dispute it. But what we know Ohio State to be is a program with gobs of talent, with great coaching, and oftentimes they can't win the game they need to win. That has been the story of Ohio State, even now that they've won a national championship. So for me, I look at this and I say the big questions are, what kind of scheme is Matt Patricia going to run on defense? And what does that scheme ask his players to do? Is it going to be more of putting a safety in the middle of the field that anchors your defense and letting him make decisions? Is it going to be a transition to more of a zone scheme? So to me, I think we need to see some of these, like the fabric of how you're going to play the game is what I need to see from Ohio State before I will be like, yep, book it. They're in the college football playoff. They're going to be a top 3 seed and they should get to the national championship game. Because again, we're going to do this same thing in 25 where we talk about, hey, are you going to beat Michigan this year? Did they actually beat Michigan this year? Did they lose to Michigan?
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do that same thing this coming year. So yes, I think they're capable of it. Do they execute? And does Matt Patricia actually work out? And does Ryan Day exude confidence in the first 3 weeks of this season? We'll see. But I don't think we can throw them in the natty conversation until we see that.
Well, I think obviously promoting Tim Walton as part of this move with Patricia, Tim Walton now co-defensive coordinator, I think that is a very wise choice. And I think because you're going to lean on Matt Patricia to be the play caller. I mean, obviously he's got 3 Super Bowl rings, and I think 2 of those were the defensive coordinator and play caller. And he was not the defensive coordinator when he started calling plays in New England, something that Bill Belichick routinely did to build guys. But when you look at Caleb Downs, you look at, I mean, Sonny Styles, you look at the talent that this defense has.
Yeah.
I think you look at what Matt Patricia brings to bear for them. I don't think they backslide on defense at all.
No.
I really do not. I'll be interested to see what the spring portal brings. I'll be interested to see how things change. And I think this spring portal question is really interesting. Mm-hmm. Are spring games dead in college football? Because I want to say that it was one of the national guys had a story about something we talked about several weeks ago, ending spring games and doing much more of an OTA style kind of program where you have the same amount of practices, but you don't play a spring game so that you can develop and recruit during that time. And you can install things during those times, your core values as a football program. But then you don't have a spring game. Because the other thing you could do is close those practices in scrimmage. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that your guys won't jump in the portal after the spring game. That doesn't change. But what changes is, the ability of your opponents to see your spring tape, which has been a major bone of contention. I think spring games are going away.
Yeah,
and
I want to go back to what Matt Rule said, because Matt Rule spoke on this, and I feel like he was kind of the catalyst to what, to this whole conversation here about like, hey, we're not about to have our kids putting out a bunch of tape for the rest of the country to see, so that they can all go ahead and jump in the portal after this spring game.
Last year we're one of the more televised. We were one of the more televised spring games, and I dealt with a lot of people offering our players a lot of opportunities after that. So to go out and bring in a bunch of new players and then showcase them for all the other schools to watch, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The word tampering doesn't exist anymore. It's just absolute free, open, common market. And so I don't necessarily want to open up to the outside world. I don't want these guys all being able to watch our guys and say, wow, he looks like a pretty good player. Let's go get him. So
to me, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's perfectly said.
In Oak State, James will tell you, IPFs are now a major thing on every campus on top of their upper deck. They put them balanced on top of their upper deck so they don't fall off.
And there's a bunch of roller food inside of them.
And stuff. So I think with the advent of OTA style systems, don't they do OTAs in the NFL? No, college football's not going to the NFL model. Anyway.
So wait, and again, because I know that we're dumb and we're always wrong.
No, we're just wrong about everything.
And our sources have agendas.
Trust me, bro.
And we don't know anything.
No. They don't have agendas. We don't have sources.
Right. We don't have sources. We talk to our shadow in the
Trust
basement.
me, bro.
Right. And so I know that 8 months ago, 6 months ago at the beginning of the football season, I know we don't have a clip of Kyle Whittingham saying that college football is going to an NFL minor league system, right? Like that never happened. Kyle Whittingham would never say such outrageous, just inflammatory, things like that, right? Like Kyle Whittingham is somebody who we all respect and know and love. And this dude at Big 12 Media Days literally told you that stuff like this was going to happen.
So much change already, and there's more on the horizon. I can tell you that. We're not done. I think it's ultimately going to get to 2 super conferences and their own playoff system, and probably break away from the NC2A, do have a commissioner and all. It's an NFL minor league model, I think, is where we're heading in that regard.
Thank you to 365 Sports for the clip.
So again, when we talk about changes,
Jake, we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're dumb. It's fine.
Just because people say it months after we said it,
Anyway.
They don't even watch pepperoni and olive pizza with blue cheese crumbles. We don't watch nothing, man.
Yeah.
It vexes me.
I when this show ends, there's a switch on my back. They just turn me off.
Right. Which is different than turning you on.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Do spring games make money for schools? Well, on a certain level. Television, it provides content for your partners. Obviously, it's going to promote merchandise sales, concession stands, all that stuff. So I think on a certain level, yeah. Monty gets all his info from the ghost lady.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, when she decides to show up.
You have bad source. You have bad sources are always wrong. That's why I watch every day.
I know. I understand, dude.
That's the untrained eye.
I get it, dude. I get it completely.
War Machine, Texas Tech and Baylor spring games won't make money. Baylor did 7-on-7s indoors last year, as you should.
Yeah, the spring game situation is just like anything else in college football. Some schools sell out their whole stadium. Like we remember Deion's first year, the whole stadium was sold out, right, for their spring game. We all remember that, And I just think that stuff like this is the evolution of college football, man. And I respect Matt Rule for being so blunt about it and being so open and honest. And just saying, hey, yeah, we don't want our opposition seeing our players just so that they can call them and offer them a bag. We want to retain as many as we can.
Yeah, certain friends of the program want me also to remind you guys I'm fat, old, and Mormon, and I'm dying soon.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's right.
Thank you for the text message during the show. It's fine. I think the spring game thing is real. I think it's the right thing to do. I think that... one of the things I really like is the barnstorming that ESPN does. Like, hey, we're in Boulder for the spring game. We're in your mom's house for her, whatever. I will, if that goes away, I hope ESPN finds a way to do that, because I think they do a great job with it.
Yeah.
And it's really compelling content. I think OTA style practices are far more impactful than a spring game. And I think that if you look at, BYU is a great example last year, having Jake Retzloff, and let's not forget we were completely wrong about Jake being the starter.
Yeah, we have no idea.
With Gary, don't call me Jerry, Bohannon.
Right, yeah.
And everybody said that Bohannon was going to start, and he's the guy, and you guys are idiots. Dude. And,
right.
I think you look at spring games and spring practices, and you need competition. Football teams thrive in competitive atmospheres. That doesn't change when you have OTAs, because you got to win your job still. You got to win your job in 7-on-7s. You got to win your job in live reps. Like, that's not going to change. That is the essence of football. You're going to still have injuries in spring, because the majority of injuries come in practice, not in game.
Yeah.
So that stuff is going to happen. There was a lot of people saying, eliminate the spring game, and causes injuries. Football hurts, man.
Yeah.
Football hurts.
You know what you're signing up for.
Yeah, football hurts. It is what it is. Wait, you're dying? Well, Jeremy, no. The thing is, now that I can't do 51 push-ups and I don't have a Ragnar sticker.
Pull-ups.
Same thing.
Right.
I was really proud of myself that at the gym on Sunday, and then yesterday, I had a little frustrating period of my day yesterday. Hire good accounting people.
Yeah.
Do I want to share this story? I probably don't. I got a certified letter from the IRS yesterday.
Oh, God, here we go.
I had a disaster of an accountant for 2 years. And I'm finding out now that she simply did not file our taxes 1 year. Just didn't file them. And then we had gotten a letter. I don't know. 6 months after the filing date. That's whatever it was. We got a letter, a period where the IRS said, hey, jerk off, you didn't file your taxes. Pay this bill.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's a mistake. That's wrong. Turns out it wasn't a mistake. She never filed our taxes. And then when I told her about it, she went and filed our taxes that same day. So I got a certified letter yesterday for a stupid amount of money that I'd already known about. And
doesn't make it better.
No, I called the IRS yesterday, and they're like, yeah, we can't waive the penalties because they're not on our books yet, but they're going to be. It just was. So yesterday I planked for 1 minute. I can now plank, full plank, and hold a plank for a minute without, like, Sunday at the gym when and my calf is still sore. My left calf feels like somebody stuck a Roto-Rooter in it, which is to be a family show.
Stay hard.
But I was shaking. It was at the end of my workout. You know, you tremble when you plank.
Yeah.
Yesterday I did a whole minute without, Jeremy Bolton says 1 minute plank. Nice. Trust me, bro. I plank for a minute. Yeah. You have to do core. I am really focused on my legs and my core right now because I want to hit bombs. So, we'll see. Let's see. It's amazing what a person can do when they're pissed off, dude.
Yeah. Channel that energy the right way.
So, I'm down here grinding my ass off yesterday in the studio.
Right.
And, I go home, I'm eating some lunch, and you get that really loud knock on the door. Like that boom, boom, boom. Most people just, hey, asshole, ring the doorbell, right? And it's my mail carrier.
Right.
Who's like, and I don't ever open my door. I use my Ring doorbell. And I don't know that she could have said it more loudly. I have a certified letter from the IRS. Cool, bro. Thanks for telling the neighbors.
Bro.
You couldn't have leaned into the, hey, I have a certified letter from the IRS.
Can you please answer the door?
You're so fucked. You better come and get this letter because you're going to hell. You're ruined.
That's right, T.
Instead of, just tell the whole block. So this, the fortunate thing is I talked about this earlier. Like the HOA it's been a rough 3 months financially.
100%.
So much money going out. So much money going out. And
is there any sense of like when this stuff with the old accountant's going to stop?
This should be it. The frustrating part about the IRS, I called, I'll tell you, it's a $14,000 bill.
Like, my God, dude.
I called to pay it yesterday. I got the letter. That's what I said. After I was done MFing and,
I'd have been upset too, bro. I don't blame you at all.
I called the IRS. First thing I did is I messaged my current accountant. Then I called the IRS, and the guy on the phone was like, I don't see this in your account. Read me there's a document number. So I read him the document number. He goes, oh yeah, you can't pay that now. It's not, you have to acknowledge you got the letter. You have to acknowledge you owe the tax. And then you can pay it. So you can't even pay it because it's not not a bill.
You were saying that because it's not in your account, they can't waive the fees. Does that mean that they will waive the fees?
He said there's a chance. He said there is a chance because the fees on this thing, you guys, are $3,500 of the $14,000 is fees. They charge you $1,900 if just a flat fee for not filing your taxes.
Yeah.
Then there is a penalty for your mom. And so it's $1,900 on top of $1,300 on top of, and he said, once it becomes a bill, call back, sit on the phone for 57 minutes again. Because I ain't got anything better to do. Sit on the phone, ask for a penalty abatement.
57 minutes?
57 minutes.
Dude.
57 minutes.
That's so incredibly frustrating.
To talk to somebody at the Internal Revenue Service. Like, just
come on, bro.
It's just, dude. Conundrum. $14,000. That's the Houston Cougars athletic budget.
Dude, I know.
It's a lot of money.
I know. And it's more than the Pac-12 TV deal. So,
Jake, you're going to piss off UW fan Jim.
Yeah, who wants us to be wrong and reserves the right to disagree.
The Stadium Guy James for $10. IPFs exist so teams can't spy on practices. No, they actually don't.
They don't actually.
Do you know why they exist? They exist because it's cold weather and hot weather. The Arizona Cardinals don't have an indoor practice facility because they don't want other teams to spy on them. It's because it's 1,000,000 degrees outside. Like Utah, BYU, they practice outdoor regularly. If they don't want people to spy, they close their practices. Nobody's flying drones or helicopters above spring practice to figure out what you're doing.
James, and I'm being genuine here. Is this a serious take or are you trolling?
When I was an usher at Oak State games, we had state high school games at BPS, Boone Pickens Stadium. Oak State did practice in between. We had to chase people out so they couldn't watch. That's different than an IPF. That's called a closed practice. And most programs' practices are closed.
Yeah.
At Utah, they have a gate. It's their outdoor practice fields when they don't practice at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Their outdoor practice fields are gated. And they have, like that blind on all their fences.
The cloth.
The cloth.
Yeah.
Canvas thing. When it's open availability, it's called the open portion of practice. They open the gate. You can walk in and stand on the sideline. Everybody, that is common practice everywhere. NFL, college football. IPFs do not exist, so you have a shroud of secrecy. They exist for climate, period. Fat Jesus. Isn't paying it an acknowledgement that you owe it? It is.
But the IRS is weird that way. Like I've dealt with some of this too. And the IRS will send you paper, but you can't see it digitally.
You can't act on it.
Yeah.
Like if I logged into my IRS account yesterday, there's no bill due. There's nothing that says, hey, you owe this money.
Because again, all the IRS is interested in is making sure that on paper somewhere they have a date that says they notified you. That's all they care about.
Then you're on the clock.
Yeah.
And I think I do owe it. I've seen what the detail on it is. My previous accountant, in my opinion, all she did was take my W-2s, send them to the IRS, and say, okay, this is what they owe. I think that's what she did.
It's so incredibly upsetting on so many levels, dude. Like,
and now I have an elite accountant. I have a really good accountant. You guys don't care about this. My books are done every month. So she has access to it. I am very regimented. I use one business card. I use another card for all my travel. I have a different business account. She has access to all of my credit cards, all of my bank accounts. They do accounting every month. She sends me emails and messages. Hey, what's this charge for? Like when we put in the golf facility in my backyard. She was like, well, okay, well, tell me what you're doing with that. Hey, I create content on it. One of my vehicles is a business only vehicle, so I don't drive it very much. Yesterday, she was like, how much tax did you pay for the year? Here's how much tax I paid for the year.
Yeah.
Like, I have a really good accountant now. Funny enough, what did I get yesterday as well? Hey, we received your tax filing, because it turns out yesterday she filed my taxes. So, Steely, that's a chunk of money. That's a chunk of money, Monty. The IRS are crooks.
Yeah,
they're not.
I don't think they're crooks.
I don't think they're crooks, but dude,
I think that.
I don't even know. You put a foot wrong. You put a toenail wrong.
Bro, I don't want to get into the politics and Doge and all that. I don't want to get into that today, but I will say I do think that I like, in theory, hey, we're gonna go through our government, and we're gonna see where we can get better. In theory, I like that.
I do too.
I think it's a pipe dream to think that, hey, like the nonsense about eradicating the IRS, and like, you're not doing that, dude. The government is funded by tax dollars, and I'm all down with making sure that our tax dollars aren't paying for some random ass thing that none of us want. But let's stop saying that the IRS is like trying to screw people. The IRS is simply an instrument that the president uses to execute a tax plan. That's all that is.
And I'm really hoping that they'll waive the fees. $3,500 is not a small amount of money,
dude.
That is not a small amount of money.
Yeah.
You'd up there, Jim. I really didn't mean to offend you guys. Nobody's
Bro,
like, you take it personally. We don't take it personally.
I'm not taking. Listen, dude. You don't. Here's the thing. With all due respect, like you and several other people in the history of this program want to come in here and want to say that we're wrong, and you disagree with us, and again, I don't take that personally. But the difference is you want to be let off the hook for that. I'm not letting you off the hook for that. I'm going to hold you accountable to you saying that we're wrong every single time it comes out that we're right and we're accurate.
And I just wish that people understood. I'm not in the when it comes to reporting stuff. That's why I'm not constantly sitting here.
We're not guessing, dude.
Yeah, I'm not constantly sitting here telling you. The volume of people I talk to, the NBA stories we don't talk about on this show that I have access to sourcing on, it's why we don't constantly do it. Because when we do it, we're usually right about it.
Yeah, we don't. Again, it's not. We're not like, again, it's not a guessing game, bro.
No. And you guys take it personally because you're fans. I truly am not a fan of the Mountain West or the Pac-12. Unfortunately, I'm a Notre Dame fan.
I was a huge fan of the old Pac-12. I love the old Pac-12.
Me too. But then you learn who people are. And when, again, what do I always say? When people tell you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
They've told us in the Pac-12 who they are repeatedly.
When your accountant screws you repeatedly, you know who they are.
Yeah. TJ Beck, Monty, just tell the IRS you should get the pro rata you deserve.
Agreed,
That's exactly right?
That's it.
And the guy was super cool. He's like, I don't see that. He said all of your past due, anything that's past due has either been paid or it's been filed correctly. Because my current accountant went back and audited all of my taxes for the last 4 years, which I paid $3,000 on top of that. And she actually got us more money back. Like, we built a studio. When we built this studio, my accountant
the old accountant
didn't say, okay, well, it's like $50,000 to build a studio. No, we're just not going to put that on your taxes. Just quite literally was like, here's how much money they made. Here's how much tax they paid. Here's what they owe. Like, didn't do an itemized any of it.
Even though you provided all of that.
Brandon Butler. We can't dismantle the IRS before they hit USAID and the DOE. Did you guys see the inflation numbers?
Let's not.
Accountant does it and mail it in yourself. No, I'm good. I want a certified tax preparer who is certified to talk to the IRS. I don't run a small business. I run a business that actually revenue generates.
Yeah.
And I am not mailing anything in myself.
See, that's the difference. We're not in the business of trying to get out of taxes, right? We're in the business of running a proper business and paying the tax that we should owe. Not like, oh, hey, we're just going to file a half-ass return and then you're going to get piped with taxes for the next 2.5 years.
No, not doing that.
Like, come on, bro.
Not doing that.
Like,
I'm not interested.
One of the things in today's world that drives me nuts is that you pay for a service, and I don't care what the service is, a tax preparer, an oil change, whatever the hell it is, guy doing pavers in your backyard. You pay for a service, and then that service doesn't get delivered to you properly, so you wind up having an oil leak, and then you got to take it back in. You wind up having pavers rise up out of the ground because they weren't laid properly. You wind up getting truly piped with taxes for the 2 years following that work that was done.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah, D-Rock, and your former account was paid for you by her services. Yeah. And that's money. It's the HOA
you
assessment.
Don't get a refund on that. It's the HOA assessment, right?
You're never getting that money. I paid $30,000 to my HOA.
Now,
have they started working on my house?
No,
they haven't.
Were you made aware that it was going to be a $30,000 assessment 5 years down the line?
Nope. No, they're not.
Nope.
Government has their hands so deep in my pocket, they might as well jerk me off. Jerk it for me. Probably too much.
No, you're not Jakey Two Shakes, so
Ferris, you have one comment that's all. What did you do? Like, you guys.
Bro, how?
Ferris has already been here. You've been here 5 minutes and you're filtered already. How do you screw it up? You guys are still totally wrong about the bum Alex Caruso.
I know.
Dude can't even hide weed properly. How is he supposed to play defense?
I know. He's a total amateur, dude.
Yeah.
Total amateur.
I listen every morning because I genuinely believe all y'all do your homework and tell the truth. In the chat room, however, one needs body armor. Yeah, totally.
Dude, you're not wrong, bro.
Because people don't know how to separate facts from opinion.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, Monty and Jake, my nephew, Nizea Hunter, who played wide receiver at Cal, was plucked out of the portal by Matt Rule and the Huskers. His tape was game film during the season in the ACC. Yeah.
That's cool.
There you go.
Yeah, that's cool, dude.
There you go. UW fan Jim. Jake, what the hell are you talking about? Let me off the hook for what?
For saying that we're wrong.
Constantly.
What do you mean, dude?
Constantly.
What do you
why what are you getting so fired up about?
What do you mean? What the hell are you talking about? Let me off the hook for what? That's some BS. Okay, let's review. Just so we're all on the same page. You literally commented 30 minutes ago. I don't think you guys are wrong about everything. I just think you're wrong about this, and I reserve my right to disagree. Okay, so I've yet to hear any. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is wrong is I haven't heard any facts.
What have we been wrong about?
But I haven't heard any facts from you about why you think we're wrong. Facts supporting your argument, and then you're like, hey, well, I didn't mean to offend you guys. You haven't offended me at all. But if you're going to come in and say we're wrong, I'm going to hold you accountable to that take.
I think weren't you talking about how the Mountain West sucks and the Pac-12 has better brands?
The dead weight.
The dead weight
comment. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think
it's
Teddy Wayman.
Teddy.
Dude,
we have
sneaking in for a quick hello and have a great day, y'all.
We have good news for you coming up in a couple of weeks. We have some good news.
We have some really good news.
We have a good update for you, sir.
Yeah, some changes are coming to the Marty program.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll see. Boyd Lake, hello, and Teddy, my guy, good to see you.
Yeah, dude.
How's the beard? Don't take everything so personally. You guys, we're not solving major crimes, or we're talking about sports. Don't take it so personally, man. I think we all tend to be more passionate about things we care about. I'm more passionate about the Cubs not signing Alex Bregman. Do you guys, again, I say this all the time. Do you understand I have nothing good in my sports fandom? Nothing. Not watching the Hockey 4. Watching great hockey between Sweden and Canada last night. Did you guys see Connor Bedard and the goal he scored in that game? No, because he's not on the flipping team. The Blackhawks are so bad that Connor Bedard is not on the Canadian national team. Sidney Crosby was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, watching those guys play together is incredible.
Physical space and real estate cost is huge for tax deductions. Dude, yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I know.
How do you not include that, bro?
I know.
How does an accountant know that you did something? Has the itemized list of the cost down to, I literally remember doing it with you guys, and it was literally down to
the
mounts
penny
and screws and and
everything. Just blew it off
and just never I just can't understand that. And then we're shocked when people get sued. It's crazy.
Never. My accountant the other day, I bought a bunch of new equipment for the studio this year, and it was all Apple. The computer that we use to execute the show, and we upgraded that computer. We upgraded the iPad we use to control the show. We upgraded, we bought a bunch of computer equipment. Program. I get 0% on my Apple card. Do you know that she chewed my ass over that?
Yes,
she's
did.
My accountant said, "Do you want to get audited? Is that what you're telling me?" She said that to me. You want to get audited? That's what you're telling me. Because I didn't use my corporate card. I used my Apple card. And she's like, put it on one credit card. All your business expenses, your cell phone bill, your new cell phones, your new computers, go on your core. I have an Amex Platinum, so it doesn't have any limit on it. But I was telling her, well, I want to finance at 0% and pay it over time. And she's like, please trust me.
Yeah.
So it is,
And that's the unfortunate part of taxes and doing things a certain way, is that you don't, you don't get those little nuanceical benefits of 0%, and you have to do it a certain way.
Yeah. Look at everybody happy to see Teddy. I think sometimes chatters chat too much and don't listen carefully to you guys. Could be.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, whatever.
Damian Fowler. Okay, everybody now. Goose Fraba. Okay.
Now, what's our boy Teddy saying, bro?
The Cougar Slayer.
The Cougar.
Damian Fowler. Teddy Wayman, is your beard getting longer than that picture? His beard is goated.
Yeah.
Sup, chat. Sup, Teddy.
Yeah, dude, are we in short beard mode or long beard mode, bro?
Teddy, we were talking about you the other day, speaking of spending $14,000. We were talking about you the other day because my wife is dead set on redoing our kitchen counters and putting LVP in, luxury vinyl plank.
So what's the update? Is there a timeline that's been set yet? Or
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
That's not what we're about.
I don't want to do it. I have no desire to do it. None whatsoever. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wind up doing it. The counters, I think, would probably be easier.
It's
smaller project.
That's the pain in the ass. Dude.
It is, because we would have to, and I think probably what we would wind up doing is renting a pod, putting it in front of the house, clearing the living room out.
Yeah.
Because I just bought a new couch. My wife did, by the way, get rid of the couch. A coworker of hers is taking his son just bought a new house, and so he needs a couch. Because his son actually procreates with the opposite sex.
His son is actually successful, unlike you know.
Like he plants the seed in the garden, it germinates into a baby.
His son is married and has kids and doing everything, but doesn't have a show and has, only has a 9 to 5 and doesn't have all those time constraints. But we're not going to talk about that,
And can't afford to buy a couch.
Yeah.
But the point is, so we're going to wind up moving all that furniture out.
So the plan is, hey, we got to hire some movers to move all that stuff for you.
I don't want to.
Right, but you're going to because the wife wants to.
I don't want to.
You're going to.
I don't want to.
Well,
I don't. You still laying that tile in Cougar Town? Wow.
Go play intramurals, brother.
West Valley today, Brandon.
Hey, dude, bro, did you see on the news in Salt Lake there was some shooting in West Valley yesterday?
No.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe it.
I know, dude. I know.
I love my friends in West Valley, but Teddy, that Cougar ain't the same
Sketchy
Cougar.
ass town, bro.
That Draper
with all due
Cougar,
respect.
that Draper Cougar a little different than that West Valley Cougar.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
dude.
saying, bro?
Yeah, bro. Yep.
Ain't enough raincoats in the
Yeah.
closet for you. Careful out there. Yeah, exactly
Dude,
right.
Seriously.
Zona Tucson. UW fan Jim coaches Jed Fish. Say enough about him. There you go.
I
Says
don't
enough
know
about
what
him.
that means, but okay.
You know. UW fan Jim says Zona, yeah, retards for lesser programs are risky. Wow. Retreads. Wow, I read that wrong.
Bro. All right, well, guys, it's been really nice doing the program with you. You know, we had a great run.
I'm a terrible.
You know. Hey, you know, certain such as in like.
Yeah, retreads for lesser programs are risky.
U.S. Americans.
And with that, goodbye, Jake. It happens.
Too bad.
It's not funny.
We did what we did.
It's not. Please don't write letters. It was an accident. It was a Freudian slip. I apologize.
Monty?
Monty can read. Just Google him.
Right. Yeah.
You mean Minty?
Minty. Right. Yeah.
Google like me. And subscribe, chat. Yeah, please hit the. I haven't said it one time this show. I'm so bad at this. We have well over 1,500 views and 58
all the
likes.
comments Ferris got blocked on, bro.
Ferris, what did you do?
Bro, dude's got like 10 comments blocked.
What did you say?
I just, you know.
Smiles and glory holes.
Okay. Use protection in West Valley City. Kevlar. It's a Kevlar issue.
Yeah, it's a Kevlar issue.
Yeah, it is. Old Tatanka, Monty. It was an accident,
bro. It wasn't intentional, dude.
Jake looks like the tomato from Vegetables.
Bro, that was funny as hell. That was funny.
Yeah,
it happens, dude. It happens.
And stuff. Okay, real quick. Jake walks into the studio this morning. Dude, I told you. I warned you. Aliens are real.
Infowars.com.
So apparently there were some earthquakes at Area 51.
2.8 magnitude earthquakes.
Who cares?
Well, Monty, they're coming up out of the ground. The spacecrafts are coming up out of the ground. And, you know, that's what's happening.
Who cares?
Well,
the aliens are not in the ground.
And we were saying that.
I have sources, according to UW fan Jim, that say aliens are not in the ground.
Well said.
Do you guys believe that aliens are hiding inside the core of the earth?
I don't believe they're hiding in the core of the earth, but I'll say this. I think that Area 51 being this secret sort of thing in the government doesn't help the situation, you know?
What I think is so funny is this Area 51 thing. People have just so, whether it's, there's dead alien bodies behind those fences, Monty. I have got an entire caravan of illegals that are going to rush the fence at Area 51.
Yeah, you guys remember that.
And if the illegals die, nobody cares.
Right, you know.
Because it's illegal.
You know, because they're illegal aliens, which is one of the most dumbest names ever.
Doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than that.
They're human. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. They're human beings. But what happened to all the people that are like, we're going to ramshackle that fence. I'm going in. I want to see E.T. You know,
I want to see E.T.
Let's ride.
And then when you rush the gate and they shoot you dead, you're going to be like, oh, time for a lawsuit. Like, Why are we so desperate for aliens to be hiding in the core of the earth?
Because we want to understand why we're here, or like what else is out there.
Weren't they behind the bookshelf staring at their daughters?
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
What if, go with me for a minute,
dude.
What if there are no aliens in the center of the earth?
Whoa, dude.
What if there are no crashed spacecrafts hiding in whatever bunkers, hangars?
That's bullshit.
What if there are no space aliens or their aircrafts hiding at Area 51? What if?
You don't always have to be negative.
I know, but what if? What if?
What if, dude?
Don't be stupid. They're hiding beneath the surface of the moon. Yeah, Delaric, what if they're hiding on the dark side of the moon?
Yeah, the moon is a way station for aliens to come to the planet.
Well, if we had ever gone to the moon, maybe we would know.
But we didn't.
Since we
so-
shot the moon landing in a TV studio.
Right,
like,
right.
This is what we do, you guys. You guys understand this is what we do? Everything's a conspiracy theory now. Well, they never went to the moon. There was no single shooter. There were multiple bullets. Jimmy Hoffa's not dead. He's picking strawberries in the Central Valley of California.
You want to explain that?
Bro, Jimmy Hoffa's dead. We did go to the moon. Like, I don't understand why we can't just be like, oh, there are earthquakes. Yeah. Well, they had an earthquake at Area 51. Now, what are you going to say about that? There was, an earthquake.
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
At Area 51.
Yeah.
Well, I just think we want it so bad.
Yes. Yes, we do.
We want it so bad.
Super thirsty.
Zona says this sounds like some Tom Cruise War of the Worlds
Great movie, by the way.
It does. The moon is cheese, guys. Get a grip. See what I'm saying?
Right.
It's probably feta. Old Tatanka, isn't the core molten iron and nickel? Well, apparently that's what
Allegedly.
the aliens live on.
Allegedly.
Capazzo, ooh, easy down in the Jeezy. You guys are getting some weather. Did you guys see the storm on the West Coast?
Yeah, bro.
ET was moved from Area 51 to our west of Dugway Proving Grounds on the Nevada side of the Salt Flats. Well,
Okay.
San Diego State, Glenn, you're right. You guys are right a lot. My only issue is when we get into it over Oregon State or San Diego State to the Big 12. You roasted me, but in the end, and this hurt, San Diego State was offered an invite but turned it down.
Cautionary tale, bro.
Maybe.
Cautionary tale.
Ferris says, dude, what did you say to get blocked? You got filtered. What did you say? As predicted yesterday.
What are you, a time traveler?
Area
now, dude?
51. Go back and hear Monty mentioning my comment about Area 51 yesterday. Okay.
Like,
extraterrestrial life likely exists, but I don't think they could get here unless everything we know about physics is wrong.
well, that's the theory, right? That the aliens have a better, like, they operate at
technology.
Yeah, they have better technology or a better understanding, like,
Yeah.
they do things that we simply can't comprehend.
Delaric, the CIA guy went to Hollywood, asked about faking the moon landing, and was told it would be cheaper to shoot it on site. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Gumby, Area 51 needs an upper deck and better concession. I agree.
Well, Monty,
Good parking,
we need to build an IPF right around where the UFOs are going to lift up out of the ground.
Listen,
and we need to provide roller food.
ET and all the kids riding those bikes, they need somewhere to rest. That's what an IPF is for.
Yeah, man.
Undercover privacy.
Yeah.
Privacy.
Can't have any cameras on them, Monty.
I was sending, and her name just went right out of my head. I sent Jake a Saturday Night Live bit that I think is just so hysterically
hilarious.
Funny. Where is it? Let me see if I can. We text far too much.
Yeah.
Holy cow. It's called SNL Close Encounters, and I can't remember her name, the actress's name, but they talk about how, they got abducted by aliens, and it's a whole series, and it is so funny. I went down the rabbit hole. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It is so good. Kate McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
If you just search Kate McKinnon aliens, it is the funniest stuff you'll ever see. And if you just search Kate McKinnon wrecking people on SNL, dude, it's just so, my God, so funny. Area 51 could use an upgraded IPF. Just saying.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fat. Jesus. Tupac isn't dead. They changed his skin color and he became Putin. Did you ever see Putin and Tupac together? Think about it. No, I never did.
A West Coast rapper and some dictator across the world,
Brandon Butler. Was the upper deck damaged at Area 51? Can an IPF prevent spying? Exactly.
Yeah.
Smash the numbers. Ferris Khan. I would roll the dice and assume that the ETs are better than we got. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Right.
Justin Mills. Where did either of you get your law degree?
Okay, this should be a good comment.
It's very suspect how you can talk so definitively about contract law when you don't know anything about. Look up law doesn't even. Guy, welcome to the show, by the way. I straight up said I don't know the law, which is why.
Hold on.
Get ready.
Rocket science moment here.
We reached out to contract law experts.
Whoa.
Who sent us and pointed us to specific things about good faith doctrine at Harvard Law, because Harvard Law has a great online presence.
Sorry, Justin. Didn't mean to let you down with our transparency about what took place. Sorry.
And again, Pac-12 guy, I'm assuming you come in here and you try to bring your guns. And what we're telling you is, yeah, we're not experts on law.
We literally said we are not legal experts. We're not lawyers, which is why we reached out to someone, dude.
We asked people who are experts, and they explain it to us.
Incredible. Every time we talk about the Pac-12 and Mountain West, dude comes in here, whether his name is Justin or Popeye's Chicken or whatever, comes in here trying to do this. Like, bro, just listen to the show and you'd know.
Additionally, I know lawyers who think it'll go either way. Unless you've read the full contract, we have, and have studied contract law, I think you're out of your depth and it makes for bad reporting.
Oh, well, man. Dude, I mean, we're just so thankful for the depth of your contribution today. My goodness. I mean, should we just change this to what's your name? To the Justin Mills show? Is that what we should do? I mean,
it's so wild to me.
Like,
that you're quite literally saying exactly what we said.
And you think that you're tearing us down.
We're not legal experts, which is why we go and talk to contract law experts. Do you think we had a graphic just sitting here ready on good faith and contract law? Do you think how would I know about good faith?
We've never claimed to be legal experts, dude.
How would I know about the good faith provision?
But here we go again, and let me retread this take from earlier in the show. Okay, let me retread this take. Hey, by the way, guy, I'm still waiting for you and any other Pac-12 supporter to come on this show and give us a factual argument as to what we're wrong about. I am still waiting for it. Like,
it's amazing.
Because all you guys do is come in here and try to tear us down. Like, you're making yourself look stupid right now, dude. We literally said we're not legal experts. Like, are you and then you're going to say we're out of our depth?
The Pac-12 brand. It's what they do.
It's incredible.
You can't make it up. And finally, Sal Capone, what is for lunch today, Monty?
Man, I don't know, dude. There's a lot of different options today, bro.
I have a little bit more chicken breast. I did a quick pot chicken breast. I went to Costco, got a pack of organic chicken breast.
Yeah.
Put it in a quick pot with about a cup of water, a good bit of lemon pepper seasoning and barbecue sauce, all natural barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out amazing. We put it on our loaded tots. I've been eating it with tacos this week. I probably have 2 more servings of that left. I will probably simply microwave a bag of frozen sweet corn, microwave that chicken, and probably, heat some tortillas up and just have tacos for lunch. Gives me my protein, gives me my vegetables, give me my carbs, But Monty, you do watch lawyer shows. Oh, we're big fans of Suits here.
Dude. Yeah, man. I mean, come on.
That's so typical, too.
That was an
just because you watch
moment.
Suits doesn't mean you're a lawyer.
I can't tell you guys just how awesome that was.
Yeah, you thought I was Matlock. I am not Matlock. Mario edits. If I send you an Albuquerque sticker, would you add it to your sign? No.
No, sorry, dude. With all due respect, no.
Nope. Matlock is a great show. Probably the best new show on TV. I haven't watched the new Matlock. I don't even watch Suits anymore.
Great show.
Kim Coulter, great show. Effing hilarious.
I mean, that was truly the topper on the show, bro. I like so good.
Oh, my God. Guys.
Please, let's end the show with this right here.
If you could go back and research any law from the 80s, which paragraph would you focus on and what article is your favorite? And it's so true because I know so little about law. Do you think I can just pull a legal, like a foundational part of contract law is this good faith clause? Do you really think that I could just go and pull the good faith and contract
just rolled
doctrine?
out of bed and was like, yeah, let's pull up the good faith and contract doctrine.
Do you really think I could?
What?
I'm smart. I ain't that smart.
Like, come on, dude.
I'm not that smart. I am truly not that smart. And as much as I'd like to be, yes, Boyd. Guys. You're not lawyers,
Like, okay, dude. Right. Come on, bro.
Oh, it's so good. It is so good to be right.
Excellent week on the program, fam.
Excellent
week, dude.
We will be back on Tuesday. We're off Friday and Monday for President's Day. Well, I'm off tomorrow because I want to sleep late.
Yeah.
Off tomorrow, off on Monday, back on Tuesday. And here, I will redouble our efforts to get Teresa Gould, the commissioner of the Pac-12, on.
Yeah.
We will try to get, I'll even ask Ed Scott, the athletic director at Memphis, to come back on. We will redouble our efforts on Gloria Navarez.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get. We'll ask Brett Yormark to come back on. Happy to do it.
Yeah.
The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Simply put, the best injury attorneys in the business get clear, risk-free advice. 24/7, 365. You can chat with an injury attorney online at the Advocates, who are not contract lawyers, they're injury attorneys.
Right. Get it right.
And really good ones. Theadvocates.com. Until Tuesday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.